welcome to New Game Who Dis. I'm Troy LaValle. I took 3 weeks off from this show for the first time in 6 years, and I hated every second of it. I didn't like not being on this show, but I'm back, and I'm gonna say this. I know that I'm prone to exaggeration, but I don't think I've ever been more excited for a session as I am tonight.
Oh, well, I'm glad we're on the list then. Jeez, you're kind of throwing everybody else under the bus.
Is it because of us or
Well,
just completely for your own reasons?
I'm glad you asked, Becca, and Nora, and Joe. No thanks to you, Matthew. There are 2 reasons I'm excited. One is because we're going to play what I consider, especially as I've dug more into this over the past few months, the Rolls Royce of role-playing games. Call of Cthulhu. Playing that, first of all. Ever since I got back into playing tabletop, which led to where we are now, this is the game that I wanted to play. That's one reason. The second reason, and the more important reason, are our 2 special guests for this evening, Becca Scott and Nora Ibrahim, everybody!
Hey, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Finally, some class up in this joint.
I don't know about that.
Maybe with Nora.
We try.
I don't. You can only speak for her.
No, there's a huge asterisk after that.
This is so exciting. I mean, we I don't know how much you know about the history of the show, but we started this during the pandemic just as an excuse to do something that we could record remotely. It really took off, the idea of us playing other new games, and so it became a big part of our programming of the year. We're like, let's turn this into a show, and let's see if we can get really exciting people to be on it. And you're really exciting people, so thank you for joining us. Not only joining us, but jumping through all of the myriad technical hoops that we have to put on this show. So
It is a deep, profound
Cthulhian-
honor.
Yes, I was going to say, and a Cthulian horror in and of itself.
having to spend any time with Grant outside of the show is it's horrific. Grant, you're on the 1s and 2s tonight. Let me see that old sourpuss. Look at him.
Old angry tech guy. There he is.
I don't know. Grant's the only one I can vouch for so far. The rest of you, I'm still deciding.
Yeah,
Well,
jury's out.
What would you vouch for? What's the overall just genuine appeal? The JD Power first in class first impressions. That's what I won last year. So let me know.
Yeah, no, that was it. That was what that was exactly how I was going to phrase it. The JD
Verbatim.
Power and Associates best first impression.
I said
Yeah.
to Grant, I said, when you have your one-on-one with them, be cool. Make it seem like we're really cool. So I hope he did.
Did
I
you
wanna
talk
take a
about your
second.
bike, Grant? Is that
Yeah,
what
that's
you
all he
did the
talked
whole
about his
time?
bike.
Hey, can we take a couple seconds to talk about this beautiful new mountain bike behind me?
Guy gets a new hobby, and that's all he does.
That's all I do.
More important than Grant's bike, everything. But more important tonight, I want to introduce you to our guests and really get to know them because we need to get to know them as well. It's always weird, like playing a game with people you don't know, but then playing a game in front of, what do we got? 1 million people watching right now. Is that 1 million? That looks like 1 million. Doing it, getting to know them. It's hard. So I want to get to know Nora and Beck a little bit. Nora, let me start with you. I met you a few months ago when we guested with Matthew Lillard on that Beetle and Grimm stream playing a little Pathfinder 2e.
That's right. Yeah, no, I remember that character very well.
It was a great character. I don't
There it
think
is.
Yeah.
24 hours passed before I emailed you and I said, will you play a game with me and my loser friends?
I was like, yes, please. I would love to.
Yeah, I mean, I was just like the whole time during the stream, I was drifting off and I was like, just my way my mind works. I was like, all right, I got to get Nora on a stream. I don't know what we're going to do. Maybe we'll play Cthulhu. And then I emailed you the next day. Hey, let's play a game. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been gaming? What do you do? What do we need to know about Nora?
Let me see. I am actually a full-time nerd as of now. Like, this is what I do. This is
Amazing.
what I've been doing the past
Congratulations.
2 years. Thank you.
Awesome.
I stream with such lovely people such as Realmsmith and Q Times and Pixel Circus, Beetle and Grimm's on occasion. Yeah, and I like to just do nerdy things with my nerdy friends.
So awesome.
What kind of games do you play? Do you play like a huge gamut of RPGs, or is it a lot of Pathfinder and Call of Cthulhu?
I will literally play anything. I started with D&D 3.5 and went from, 5th edition from there, and I played Vampire, and then it was literally anytime anybody was like, hey, I want to play this game. And I'm like, cool, I've never played that before. Is that cool? And they're like, no, it's fine. Here's the book. And I will literally read it in 3 days and jump in and play on a game. So for anybody who watches these streams and are really interested in whatever game, and you're like, oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm kind of afraid to play this because I haven't played it before. Just play it. That's
great advice.
That's literally
great advice.
how I stream a plethora of I will literally play any game any of my friends are playing.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about exactly the genesis of this show. It was we for years were intimidated to try new tabletop RPGs just because of the size of these books. You know what I mean? They're so huge. But then the pandemic actually gave us time at home, and our shows went on hiatus. It was we got to do something else. And so we started picking up these books and reading. And we were like, you don't have to know everything to just start playing.
You don't.
You need the tiniest little bit, and you can just jump in. And
Yeah, if you played one and you kind of get the gist of what it is, it's easy to jump into another one, even if it's a completely different system. And Becca has a lot of experience with that because I've learned new games playing with Becca.
Aw, shucks. Well, I was going to say,
segue.
most of those pages are just filler. I mean, most of the chapters, they just want you to get your money's worth with the printed book.
Yeah, they're just really trying to hit a target weight. That's really what it comes down to.
This is mostly short stories by Lovecraft.
Yeah. And then a bunch of just Ibsen Lorem.
It's for flavor.
Well, great segue to our other guest tonight, Becca. Becca, you literally, if you go to the Chaosium website, Chaosium is the company that puts out Call of Cthulhu, there's a video of Becca teaching you how to play Call of Cthulhu. That's like saying, just look up awesome in the dictionary and there's a picture of me.
Absolutely. Well, my story is very different than your guys's. So the pandemic started and I really wanted to play games with my friends, but I hadn't run anything before. And so I just picked up, wait a minute, this sounds really familiar. I started a Call of Cthulhu show because of the pandemic, but also because I have a channel called Good Time Society. That's our Twitch channel as well as a YouTube channel. And on the YouTube channel, we post all kinds of tabletop board game reviews and tutorials. And so I used to do that for Geek and Sundry for a long, long time. I met Nora at Geek and Sundry because we were both NPCs come to life in a very in-depth Vampire the Masquerade campaign. And I don't know how you found me. I just started sending Chaosium my videos, and they couldn't help. They were like, "Yeah, you won't leave us alone. So I guess we'll put you on the front page." No, just kidding. They're very wonderful people, and it was completely unsolicited.
No,
that video.
The Lobo grease. That's fantastic. And you're at the Becca Scott, and Nora is at Noralogical. We'll throw it in the chat. Make sure you give them a follow and everything they do. Subscribe to their YouTube and become their best friends, like we're going to over the next 3 weeks. Joe
Troy,
and Matthew.
I know you think that everybody watching this probably knows us, but you'd be wrong. There's some people watching that probably don't know who you are, Troy. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you come from?
I think we have time for me, but unfortunately, I got to keep the ball rolling. But that's right. We'll do a quick 10-minute expose on me. But yeah, obviously, I think we probably have a lot of new people watching this evening, which is exciting. If you don't know who we are, we're the Glass Cannon Network, and we put out far too much content. And our wives and significant others are. They miss us, to be honest. They miss us. I can hear right now my wife struggling to put a 2.5-year-old to bed while an infant screams. Is my mic picking that up?
Just put the gate on. Put the gate on your mic so we're not bothered by your infant child, please.
But yeah, no, that's what we do. We started out with one podcast, the Glass Cannon Podcast, and that has just blossomed into just an endless amount of podcasts, live streams, and a world tour, which is now on hiatus because the world is a disaster. But when it is good again and everybody's safe, we're going to be back out there. We already have 16 dates booked this year. I think we're going to do all 16. Joe and Matthew think we're going to do 0. But I'm optimistic. I guess we could squeeze in a quick 20 seconds for Joe and Matthew. But this is how I'm going to introduce you, because Matthew very excited to play Call of Cthulhu. Joe, I had to drag kicking and screaming to the session. Discuss, Matthew.
I want to play Call of Cthulhu so bad.
Well, you
Wait,
did.
do you really? Do you
Yeah,
really?
oh yeah.
He begged me.
Really?
I was like, Troy, are we doing Call of Cthulhu? If we're doing Call of Cthulhu, I would love to play Call of Cthulhu. Are we doing Call of Cthulhu?
What is it? What is it about is it the system? Is it the setting? What gets you going?
Oh, I got pretty excited when we started doing the Delta Green streams because I really enjoyed the system, and I also really I feel like I've been getting into more cosmic horror. Maybe it's the fact that the world is coming to an end, and maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, I was super excited about it. I like the system. I think you, Joe, you had talked about it because you played at a Gen Con, as I recall.
I
right?
did, yeah. I was introduced to it at a Gen Con, yeah.
And you
did you
didn't
actually play-
debatably say it was the best system of all time, Joe?
No, I hated it. Actually, it was.
I gotta go.
There was a lot about it that was good. The problem is when you don't know, when you've only played D&D or Pathfinder, and that's all you've ever played. It's kind of weird because you're just constantly like, "Oh, when's the encounter?" So like, it's the countdown to the tactical combat, right? Like, you know what I mean? And this game is just not that. And I didn't know that at that time, and it was 8 players or something like that around the table. No one, I knew one of our friends brought me there and introduced me to the game. Was like, you'll love this. But it was all strangers, and it's just all mystery role playing for 3 hours. And I was like, when are we going to fight something? Which was just, if I would have known more about really the vibe of the game, the tone of the game, I could have gotten into it, I think, a little bit more. But at the time, I was like, well, I'm good on that. And Troy was like, I really want to play Call of Cthulhu, which brings me to my little, so this book that Troy put up, I've had this book for a little while now. There's a note in it, a little lovely note here.
Do you know I completely forgot about this?
Yeah.
I completely forgot about this. Yeah.
It says, happy 40th, good buddy. I look forward to playing this with you when you and your family join us in Westchester in less than 2 years. Love, Troy, November 9th, 2019. And this is the first night I've opened it.
Hey, you know what? 2 years isn't up. Come on out, buddy. They're giving away houses out here.
time. Still got time. Yeah, so Troy really wanted to play this so bad that he bought me the Keeper rulebook and was like, run me through a game. And I was like, cool. No, not interested. And I think a big part of it is the setting. I've never been interested in the like 1920s, 1930s, because I don't know what to do. Like, look at Nora. Nora looks amazing. Nora came to the table like ready to get after it and gets it, you know? And I just have a hard time.
You want.
Exactly. Like even the voice, you can hear the tone. And so, yeah, I'm gonna just plow through and, well, after playing Delta Green, I'm way into the cosmic horror element, way more than I used to be. Because I used to be like, oh, it's like Dick Tracy and a bunch of like tentacle monsters. Like, I just don't get it. There's so much more to it than that. The insanity stuff is extremely cool. And Delta Green has made me really greatly appreciate it. I just like that modern setting because I can understand it a little bit better. These historical times, I don't know, for some reason, it's like a blind spot for me. It's like I can do pre-guns, I can kind of imagine medieval, and then it's just like after that, up until modern times, I'm like, I don't know what people have. They've got cars and they've got guns, but they don't have iPhones. They don't have, they got phones. Do they have phones? You know what I mean? I have a hard time getting the setting right in my head.
How dare you let him blaspheme for that long, Troy?
I know. I was like,
Seriously.
is he going to cut himself off? He just.
We do need to talk about that, though. But I wanted to just, if I could quickly just say my first experience with Call of Cthulhu was at the beginning of the pandemic. And I had a completely opposite first time experience than Joe had. But I had Danny from the Initiative Order contact me. I'd never met him before. Randomly asked me like, hey, would you like to play Call of Cthulhu with us? It wasn't going to be for stream. Like he was like, maybe we'll stream it, but we just want to have a game together. So I was like, sure. And he kind of walked me through, the setup of everything. And when I played it, the group of people we all played so well together. I had just such a good time that we played for 5 hours straight. I never play for 5 hours straight
Wow.
on a computer. or even on it like around a table. But I had so much fun, and I was like, wow, this is so different because there's so much investigative work. We are really squishy, which I do have I have high anxiety about, but I just loved it. I loved the 1920s setting of it, and now I stream with them once a month for on their network, the Initiative Order, and I just it's so much fun. I totally fell in love with the era and the quirkiness of being in that time. It's fun for me. I don't know why. I think I watched a lot of cartoons growing up, but maybe that was it. It's very Bugs Bunny for me. But yeah, that was.
I
guess
gotta
Bugs
jump
Bunny
in.
is
I
a
gotta
good-
jump in, Joe, with two things. One, D100 are 5 times better than a D20. Two,
that is factually
you can
correct.
play Call of
You're gonna
Cthulhu
get so much
Dark
hate mail.
Ages, or you can make your settings in modern time because the rules totally give you that option.
Yes,
Bam.
and that's what I found out last year, and that's why I'm excited to explore it now. I am feeling much more positive in the way Nora's looking at it, that it is a quirky time and a very interesting time to jump into. I just don't have a lot of references. I mean, what are your I don't know, film, book? You said Bugs Bunny. That's actually a very, very good reference.
I also watched a lot of Charlie Chaplin
Charles Chaplin, that's
movies.
good.
I don't know, any
Gatsby.
Great Gatsby.
Gatsby's good. It's just been so long. Read
It
that
was
in
the
high school.
50s, but if you channel your inner Jimmy Stewart for the voice, I think it'll get you there.
All right. Sounds good.
What's going to help is everyone, whether you like horror or not, there is a visceral feeling you get when you are terrified. And that's something that I think is universal. You might not like horror movies. I don't. I don't like that. I don't like that feeling. But I like making people have that feeling. I just like make people feel like something that they'll think about later and be like, I can no longer sleep. And that, to me, that universal gut feeling is something that Cthulhu touches upon in a way that other games, I haven't really experienced that so much yet. I try to infuse that into our other games because we've played a lot of Lovecraftian stuff. Our Strange Aeons tour is very Lovecraftian. We
Yeah, I
got
guess
into it
that's
with
the other
Side Quest
thing.
Side Sesh. We've played a lot of that. It's much deeper, I think, with the actual Call of Cthulhu game.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is we spent an entire year on tour playing Strange Aeons. I have grown to understand, I think, a little more of the tone of Cosmic Horror, that it isn't just about giant tentacle monsters. That's not what it is. It's about all you don't know and the power of knowledge and how destructive it can be. It's just awesome. It's awesome.
This game we're going to play is so absolutely horrifying. and so unnecessarily bleak. I hope that we have fun so that Nora and Becca will want to come back.
I like to
But-
be tortured, so please make it horrific.
It's fine. Do your
It's
worst.
bad. It's bad. It's real bad. Well, it's dark in ways that are like, oh, that's not like, oh, that's dark. No, it's just like the kind of thing you're like, oh my God, what is happening right now? And why do I feel a tingling in my loins? It's that kind of a story.
Please flay my mind.
I'm hoping to. I have 3 weeks. I have 3 weeks to flay a mind. Before we jump in, because I just want to jump in. I'm so fired up about this, and character creation is what we're going to get into because it's the best part of playing. Sometimes I think it's like drafting a fantasy team. The draft is always better than the season. But our good friends at Chaosium, we've partnered up with them to do some more giveaways. This is 3 weeks in a row, or 3 shows in a row. We're doing some giveaways. Joe, tell them what they might win.
Tell them what they might win. Yes, huge thank you to Chaosium for backing us on the stream and helping get the word out there. And hopefully you guys enjoy this just as much as we hope Becca and Nora enjoy playing with us. We want to get you copies of the game to play if you're having a good time. So go ahead and look for a link in chat. We are going to be giving away 3 starter kits today, and There is a restriction for the physical starter kits. You have to be U.S. only, but don't worry about that. Enter the contest no matter where you are, because if you are outside of the U.S., we're going to get you a digital copy of the starter kit if you get pulled. So go ahead, join up no matter where you're from. But if you are in the U.S., we're going to send out a physical copy. Oh, there you go. Look at this. Yeah, Becca's holding it right there. Nora is as well. That is the starter kit. And you guys, you said you played it, right, Becca? You played the starter adventure?
I played Alone Against the Flames, which is a solo adventure. It's very fun. And then there's a book of starter rules. And then there's a scenario you can run. It's basically a starter scenario. And it's a very jazzy one. And
Nice.
I haven't run it yet, but I'd like to.
Awesome.
And there's
Well,
a solo adventure. You literally have no excuse to not play this game.
You just do it yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, look for the link in chat. Brennan will drop it in our chat, and click there. It'll take you to the place where you put in your info, and you can get all the get entries into the giveaway. And I'll try to mention it a few times tonight. So thanks for watching, everybody. And if you're interested in trying out Cthulhu, this is your chance. Just enter the contest. You get in for free.
These starter sets are great because even we're going to try and teach while we play and learn while we play. I think the best way to learn is to play, and then also hopefully by watching this stream, you'll be like, you know what? I think I got a handle. Let me get a group together and throw a game together. But the starter sets are a great way of like rules light. Just jump in and start figuring out the mechanics as you go. We did it for Cyberpunk when that came out of Gen Con a couple years ago. It's just a great way to kind of get your feet wet, see if it's a system you like. And they're just giving it away. So let's build some characters here. Characters that will totally be alive and sane at the end of 3 weeks. To me, this is my favorite part. I could do 3 weeks in a row just building characters. Like we just build it, like, oh, that was fun. Let's start from scratch again. And so I really want this to be a communal effort at building these characters because you want to have a team of investigators that are well-rounded, ideally. But unfortunately, due to this scenario, there are some restrictions that we will get into as we start digging. I can say one off the top of the bat. There are several skills that your investigators have. There's strength, con, dex, appearance, power, size, intelligence, and education. Now, you could roll a 90 for power if you had some crazy roll right out the gate. We are restricted to a power no greater than 40 in this adventure. And there's also a pool of skill, a stat known as luck. You basically have a pool of luck. You normally start with like 99. Am I right, Becca and Nora? Do you start with like 99 luck?
Oh, no. You got to roll for
roll for
luck.
it.
You roll for
Yeah.
luck.
Yeah, 3d6 is plus 5?
Times 5, right?
Times
You
five
know.
for luck.
Yeah, maths. Go the maths.
In this case, you're only getting 20 luck in this game. That is 20 luck that will last the entire 3 weeks. It is a bleak time, and you will find out as we get into the scenario why our characters are all down on their luck. But let's just jump right in. I mean, is there anything better than rolling for stats? There might be people being like, that sounds boring for television. Then you have not watched the show on the Glass Cannon Network, because we're going to make it fun. Now, there's a million different ways you can do this. One way is you can just roll 3d6 times 5 and be like, that's my strength. And then if you did that across the board, then you would choose an occupation based on what you had in front of you. I'm not going to impress that upon anyone. If anyone is feeling particularly masochistic tonight or really doesn't have an idea what they want to play, then by all means, try the old roll and attribute as you go, allocate as you go. But in our case, if you don't want to do that, you're just going to roll 3d6 times 5 times. And we're going to attribute those to your strength, con, dex, appearance, and power. The one caveat being that your power cannot be higher than 40. And I'll tell you this, I suggest if you have it, to at least have a 40 power, because that will affect your sanity points. But go ahead and just start rolling, and feel free to let us know what's coming up. And then we'll do 2d6 plus 5 times 5 for your size, intelligence, education. Don't worry about those right now. We just need 5 rolls of 3d6 that you multiply by 5.
All right, so we're just going to
man.
get the numbers to start and then apply them as we feel like.
Yeah, yeah. And once you have the numbers, I think you'll get a better sense of like, you know what? I wanted to be a strong man. So I'm going to put my big number into strength. We can talk about that once you get it. Nora, you have a question?
Oh no. I was just looking at my stats and thinking like, well, what am I going to want to like? What's going to be my dump stat in this scenario?
In this scenario, yeah. Well, I mean, are you guys coming to the table with some vague concept? Because like
I do.
I have a concept that I kind of want to hit. Okay.
I do.
All right, great. Then let's roll and throw them in there.
All right.
Yeah. I take it no one is doing the roll across the board option.
I'm not
right?
going to do it. No, because it'll obviously go a completely weird way.
I would
I
love
guess
to
it
play.
doesn't really matter, right? I guess I could be like the guinea pig. I could do it. I have a concept. I'm going
You'll be
to
miserable,
wedge
though.
this into the concept.
You'll be miserable if it didn't
Yeah,
work
but
out.
what I've learned about this game is that it truly doesn't matter if you stink. Like that's not what the game is about
Just
at
makes
all.
for better storytelling.
It's true.
Yeah, it really does. And more so than some of the other ones. But
Except if you end up with a doctor with 10 intelligence. Then it's like, you're just a
Hey.
charlatan. You're a quack.
No, you are Dr.
That's
Nick
a great
Riviera.
character.
You're Dr. Nick
You're
Riviera.
Dr.
It's
Nick
a
Riviera.
great character. You can always do not let stereotypes rule your you
Yeah.
know.
all right,
Go
I'm
with
going to
it.
go with Nora's advice on this, and I'm just going to roll and keep what I
Wow.
get. I'm going to
Yeah.
roll each
Okay.
statistic and just take it as it goes. But I'm still
Fortune
keeping my
favors the
backstory and
bold.
everything, my backstory idea. All right, here we go.
Matthew, I think you and I could get down with a original second edition D&D game. Like if we had like Skid run us through the original or the second edition rule set where we had to roll the stats the old fashioned way. It was just like 3d6, there's my strength. 3d6, there's my dex. And you can get burned. You can be like, well, cool, I got a 3 strength.
I mean, but like
It
to
has
Nora's
happened
point,
to me. It has happened.
I mean, like, but I was gonna say like exactly what Nora said. Like that means that then that's your story, right? Then you just gotta
your story.
figure it out.
Yep.
How many
right.
times are we rolling this, by the way? Sorry.
You're doing it 5 times. 3d6 multiplied by 5. That should give you 5 different stats to work with. If you see a 40 in there, throw it on your power. I highly suggest. Otherwise, it just can't be above 40. How are things looking out there in TV land? Grant, did we see one of the character sheets up there? Let everybody know. What a beautiful character sheet. I hate to.
it is gorgeous.
I would tell you if I didn't like it. I'm not just a shill for the game. I'd be like, the character sheet's kind of shitty, but I like the rest of the game. I think it's a beautiful
sexy
sheet.
character sheet.
It really is.
It's good. So I just rolled my strength and I got a 50. So
Okay.
that's good, right?
That's
Average.
good. Depending on what your character is.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Next is con, right?
Yep.
All right, con. Oh, that's worse.
My
much
lowest has
worse.
been a 50 so far.
Oh, your lowest has been a 50?
Yeah.
I got a 45 con.
Well, the lowest you could have, right, is a 15, I guess, right? If you rolled 3 ones.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
that's brutal.
Joe's
Any
gonna
15s
get
out
poisoned. Don't trust the
the
soup.
lowest I got, Troy, was a 45. So are you comfortable with me just taking that and putting a 40 in power?
Did you have anything? There was no other way of doing it.
I mean, that's the lowest set I have.
Yes, you could just sacrifice those 5 points to the elder gods. And Grant, you can take those 5 points when you build a character someday.
Thank you. And let me know when I have 5 minutes to talk about this new bike wheel I got, by the way.
Wow, shiny.
It's carbon fiber. It's really great.
So it's really light, really lightweight.
Biking with Grant starts at 10.
1 year, the guy's got 2 bikes and 5 wheels. It's like, what? All right. Oh, you know what?
All
I
right,
forgot.
Oh, sorry.
Set the mood. I was just gonna say I gotta set the mood as we create
yeah.
characters here.
My lowest
Oh,
was a
good
40.
job.
We need to hear the intensity.
Well, it's not intense yet.
Oh, because we're not
Now
we're
just
not
gonna
dead yet.
Yeah, we're just gonna get in the era, sort of start feeling our way around.
is nice.
1920s, 1930s.
This sounds like that music
All
jacket.
right, sugar.
Wheel of Fortune in the 80s when you won, you could like, your little head would be in the corner and it would go across a showcase of, am I dating myself? Does anyone remember when Wheel of Fortune did that?
I did the
back in
Vanna
77?
White display.
There you go.
A young Pat Sajak. Becca, you look like your character is fully made. How did everything shake out for you?
I can't lie. I've made a lot of Call of Cthulhu character sheets. I just went ahead and gave myself 40 for power. All my other rolls were way too high, so trust me.
Wow.
That was the best way. So I have a character in mind.
Talk to us.
Her name is Shirley Cisco. And so I think that Shirley is gonna have quite a firm constitution. So I gave my highest roll, which was a 70, to her constitution. Size 65. That's my next highest. Same as intelligence, which I did. I jumped ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
you
got
did the
excited.
2d6
I'm that
plus
student,
6.
you know.
That's fine. You know what you're doing.
Instead of then only 2d6, and then you do the plus 6, and then times 5, right? So it's like a average
Right,
in there.
so for strength, con, dex, appearance, and power, you roll 3d6, multiply it by 5, allocate them. And then size, intelligence, and education, as Becca's saying, it's 2d6 plus 6 times 5. It sounds crunchier than it is. It's just they keep those numbers a little bit limited, but those numbers can kind of shift depending on age, and education can go up. If you're older, you get to get bonuses to your education. We'll deal with that in a second. So please keep going.
Yeah, well, you're just maxing out your third die. It makes sense. She's bigger. She's sturdy. She can't be shaken. She can handle the food in the soup line. And you know what? My dream is that she is actually a cook in one of these soup lines, and can wield a ladle very powerfully, but also has a side dream, one that may never become reality, but she's training every day for, which is to be a boxer. That's what I wish for Shirley.
Cook/boxer. It's
Yeah.
a tale as old as time.
And in this corner, Shirley Cisco.
They call her the cook. Shirley the cook Cisco.
You get it. You you never seen a dame like this in the ring, eh? Oh, no, you wanna
Give me the
taste
old
what I'm
1-2.
cooking? Like that.
I like it.
Amazing.
Wait, so size, intelligence, and education is 2d6 plus 6?
Yes, times 5. It sounds more complicated, but
2d6 plus 6 times 5.
yes. Yeah.
All right, let me go
so
do
you get
that, 'cause I
free,
got my
you get
other
that free
three.
6, like Becca was saying, that free max.
Free max. Free max.
Joe, you had a disgusted face as you were rolling out your numbers there. We'll get to you in a second. Matthew, how is your character to be shaping up? I'm loving this music. This is so different than our normal music.
No, different vibe.
You know, it's funny. I was trying to tell Samantha, my wife, about the story today, mainly so I could just talk it out. And I got about 10 minutes in, she's like, so wait a minute, all these games that you play, they're not like all Dungeons and Wizards? And I'm like, no, every game is a different setting. And it just blew her mind.
When are you
So
gonna
I'm
run
hoping
a
she's
game
watching.
for her?
I know. Oh, God. I've tried. I've tried. We've talked
Becca,
about it.
When you get a babysitter.
So we've been talking. I mean, when we started the first pod, these were our girlfriends, or fiancés maybe at that time. And people were like, because we'd always be like, yeah, they have no interest in playing. They'd be like, you got to get them in, or you should have them on the show. You should blah, blah, blah. And I mean, it's been 6 years. And my wife is still like, don't even ask. I have no interest. But I respect that. All right, so disgusted face. First of all, I guess I'm just the most middling character ever. So I rolled 50, 45, 55, 45 across strength, con, dex, appearance. Nothing there of interest. I did on the 2d6 plus 6. I rolled an 8 plus 6, 14. It gave me a 70 intelligence, which fits right in with what I wanted, which is great.
Perfect.
Here's the question:
Oh, God.
do you get a 40 power, or do you get whatever you roll? Because I rolled a
if
20
you don't
power.
have a 40.
I rolled 20.
Oh, 'cause you were going right
snake
across the
eyes and a
board.
2.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
So I just get 20 power. I don't get
so
boosted up
brutal.
to. It's not a min and max all at the same time.
I forgot. I thought you'd have the option to allocate. Did you? Well, let's see how the rest of you shook out. Maybe I'll let you play around with it. See how generous I'm feeling.
No,
in front of our
make him
guests.
go insane.
Man, I don't have to try hard for that to happen. It's the
Well,
scenario.
what is it? Can you explain to me what it means? Like distill for me what the like having a 20 power. Actually, it says it in here, doesn't it? It says like what it represents, what those numbers sort of.
It's like 20 power. You are an
Oh,
infant.
it says right here. 15 power, weak-willed, easily dominated by those with a greater intellect or willpower.
Yeah.
And you have to get to 50 before you're an average human.
Wow, so
below
we're all
average.
starting way below.
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
is
Like,
what
all
the
of you are
depression-
starting at 40 and below. Like, it's because of the times that you're living in. And I'll tell you right now, this is going to be happening during the Great Depression. And when you pick occupations, all of the occupations you're picking are your former occupations. Because now you're all penniless and in like the lowest level of poverty. So
By the way, that's literally penniless.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, that's
that's like a status.
that is
in
a
the
stat,
game.
yes. Don't worry
And
about
the
your credit
40.
rating. We can skip past that.
The 40 power is what makes us go, yeah, sure, I'll go find this monster and fight it. That will surely kill us in the end. All for it. Sounds good. Where do I
That
sign
makes
up?
sense in my life. Yeah.
From a
Can we wear
mechanical
matching
standpoint,
t-shirts?
the Monster Squad, but from a mechanical standpoint, the real sticky wicket, as Matthew would say, is that your sanity points are equal to your power. So starting with 20 sanity points is just awful for this adventure.
I don't like it.
Or any adventure.
I don't like it.
I love it. The best thing is watching people play out their characters' insane choices
Yeah.
and or overruling them to make them more insane.
Yeah, I'm going to say roll with it. Becca's talked me into it, so you can blame her. But the beauty of this is that if you don't make it through the night and go permanently insane, you can just bring somebody new next week.
You know?
It took me so long to think of one person I could imagine in the 30s. Like,
Stewing on
who's this other person? I'm not going to just show up with some amazing soup kitchen cook ladle boxer wannabe. Like, I don't have a brain for that.
I get killed off in the first episode, but I come back and literally just put on a different hat, but all the same other outfit.
The old mustache routine.
Oh,
Hello.
has anyone seen my brother?
It makes you more comfortable. You can call me by my brother's name and just pretend that I'm up to date on all the things that we've
None
been
of
doing
that is
together.
weird at all.
In fact, so you don't get confused, I won't answer by the other name I told you was mine. Don't worry about it.
All right, Matthew, what were you going to say? Cut
Yeah,
you
well,
off.
how's your stats looking, bro?
All right, so the 3d6 plus 5. I'm sorry, the 3d6 times
Calm
5.
down. 2d6 plus 6 times 5, yes.
Right. Well, let's start with the 3d6 times 5. That's strength, con, dex, appearance, and power.
Yes.
Okay. I rolled fairly middlingly.
Okay.
So I put my highest roll was a 70. So I put that in appearance.
Okay.
My character
Ooh,
is an actor.
Dashing.
An actor. Oh.
Well, technically a dancer. He was a chorus boy in a touring company of No Net before things took a turn for the worst economically.
Had to shut down Broadway.
Great.
They shut down the tour.
The tour could no longer be financed, and so you find yourself out of the streets.
But because that, chorus boys, they have to do a lot of physical labor. There's a lot of lifting things and people too. So I gave my 60. I put that in strength,
Okay.
and then I put 50. I rolled 2 55s. They're in con and dex, and then I rolled for my 2d6 roll. My two 2d6 rolls. I rolled a 12 and a 2.
Ooh.
So I gave
wow.
myself
Boxcars and Snake Eyes?
boxcars and snake eyes.
Wow. All right, so you maxed out one of them because you get the +6 on that, and then the other one you got the lowest possible.
Yeah.
Wait,
so,
sorry. Are we supposed to do education or size at this point? We're doing those two?
I let the advanced members in the class move ahead, but we were going to get to
Extra
you
credit
later.
homework.
Okay. I'll hold
Yeah,
off
but
on that.
for you can go ahead at your leisure. We're going to move on to Nora for size, intelligence, and education. Education may go up depending on your age. That's going to be 2d6 plus 6 times 5. Nora, how is your character shaking out?
So for size, I took the lowest number, which was 65, put it in her size, and she's a petite lady. Size intelligence, I rolled a 75. I put that in intelligence.
You rolled
total.
65 was your lowest?
60 was my low, like in my other stats, dex and strength. 60
Wow.
was my
Oh,
lowest.
gotcha.
That's amazing.
Except for the lowest I rolled was the
OP.
40, so I was like, I'm gonna put that in power since I have no choice on that. That was technically my lowest. What am I missing here? Education?
You can tell that she's a
Education.
professional dice roller, everybody.
So I
got loaded
rolled
dice.
70 for education. She's a little more street smart than she is book smart, I would say, in her life.
Okay.
So I made that one a little lower. I should say that should I tell the background of my character?
Yeah. What are you thinking? We've got a cook
so-
boxer, an actor, and a
So,
dummy.
My idea, since we're doing 1930s downtrodden, are we doing? Is it Western?
No, it's Massachusetts.
Oh, it's
you
Massachusetts.
You could have moved
Okay.
there if you have a concept.
I
You
wanted
find
her to
yourself
be,
in Massachusetts.
Like a saloon keeper.
Okay.
So maybe
I like that.
a tavern owner.
Yeah, there could be a restaurant that you worked at recently.
Speakeasy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I want her to have like the
speakeasy, yeah.
speakeasy vibes. She's her name is Penelope Keene, and she was her friends call her Peachy Keene, but you'd have to be a friend to call her that. I do want her to have like a southern backstory-ish so that she could be very sweet as pie, but as soon as anything happens, she's Moses Lack with a shotgun.
Why, I ought to show you a peach.
Yeah. So drop of a hat, she's like behind the bar. Yeah. What else?
What
do
is
we-
our year? Because I'm looking up when Prohibition was repealed. Oh, interesting.
Ooh, yeah. This is what makes Joe nervous. This makes me nervous too, because I'm
Makes
like,
me
wait a
so
minute.
nervous.
Were
Hey,
there guns?
you can
Were
make
there
it up.
phones? Yeah, but
It's a game.
it's all fantasy. Our story is going to take place, spoiler alert, in 1932 in Massachusetts, and you are all residents of a shanty town. You are all out of work and on the hardest of hard times. You may be married, unmarried, you may have children, no children. We'll get into that. Pretty much as we start to uncover who these characters are, I'm going to graft them into this story and kind of help you fill in the pieces where you have some blind spots. If you're like, yeah, I'm married, but you don't have a name for that husband, maybe I have a name for that husband or for that wife or for whatever. Or you're like, oh, I used to work at a speakeasy. Well, maybe there's a restaurant in town that you used to, when you first moved to Massachusetts, you worked for. I can give you that information. And some of it will be red herrings. Some of it will be possibly pertinent. For those of you who haven't played Cthulhu, you'll find out that there's just a million different options, and it's really up to the investigators to follow the leads that they want to follow, and up to me to bebop and scat as best I can. But right now, sounds like a very interesting group. Joe, did you finish those final 3 stats there?
No, sorry, I got stressed out about the decade. I was like, my timing's off. All right, so size is 2d6 plus 6 times 5.
Yeah.
That is 11, so that's 55 for size. I mean, this dude is so just average. 50, 55, 45, 45, 55, and all like the physical stats.
Average Joe.
Oh, I was going to
Average
say it,
Joe.
and then
Yeah.
I thought he might punch me through the screen if I did. But you did it,
Average
Troy.
Joe versus the cook.
Average Joe isn't strong enough to punch you through the screen. All right. And now education. Come on, give me something. Actually, my
No,
intelligence is
please
really
be
high.
a 50. I mean, you got to lean into this character.
Gotta lean into it. Nope, 70.
Oh.
8 plus 6, 14, that's a 70. Awesome. So it's intelligence and education. So, yeah, this educated fella with very meager physical stats and just slightly unattractive.
Well, let's talk about age now, because age is more than just a number. In this game, it actually affects your strength and size and your education. So, Grant, go ahead and throw up page 32 of the Keeper's Handbook. you'll see that like if you're 15 to 19 years old, I don't know if anyone is that young, maybe Mr. No-Net over here is, but you take a penalty to your strength and size. You're just a little whippersnapper. And you also deduct by 5 points from your EDU, and then we're not generating a luck score, you're just starting with a garbage luck. Once you get to 20 to 39 years old, which may be where a lot of these characters fall, you get to make one improvement check for your education. And to make an improvement check, roll a D100, and if the result is greater than your present education number, you get to add a D10 worth of percentage points to your education. Pretty sweet. So if most of you fall into that category...
0.
Oh, that is a fumble. Wait, did you roll a 0 or a 100?
No, on the 100. Oh no, if a 0 is a 10.
That's a 10.
So I rolled
Yeah.
a 10. Okay. So, but still no.
Still no. Wait, no, you succeeded. You have to roll higher. Yeah. And
Higher.
normally you want to roll lower, but for the education checks, you want to roll higher. And if you do, you get to add a D10. Now, if you're 40 to 49 years old, you get to make that check twice. So you basically increased your education by how older you are. Is anyone 15 to 19? Let me throw that out there. Any teens? Any wily teens? How many people fall into the 20 to 39 range?
I wanted to say 40, but I'm never going to have a boxing career if I'm 40. So we're going 28.
It'll be too late for you. All right,
Yeah.
so you're all falling within that range. Great. Keep it simple. So you just each of you don't touch your strength and size. Make one improvement check for your EDU. It sounds like Nora already failed, but she's street smart. She's not book smart. What about the rest of you?
I failed.
Failed. It's hard. If you have a Joe, you got a 70 in education. You got to roll above
so I roll
70.
a D100 and I have to roll above 70. Right? 36 now. So, okay.
Becca, any luck?
Fail.
All right, you're all poorly educated. That's not true. You're all educated whatever you rolled. You just didn't make any improvements in that time. You were busy being poor after the stock market crashed. Now you need to put in your half and fifth characteristic values. Grant, just go ahead and throw up that table on page 49. Basically, we don't have to go into this too much. You guys can do this on your own. Feel free to use the table in your investigator handbook. But what they're doing right now is, let's say you have a 40 for, better. Let's say you have a 60 for strength. Your half value would be 30. We need to know what your half value is, and then we need to know what your fifth value is, which is, I don't feel like doing the math right now. What is that? 6?
8.
Wait, what did I say? 60? 8. Thank you. 8. And you
Want to know my
round-
trick? Take the first number times 2.
Take the first number.
Because 1/5 is
times
20%,
2.
so you take 10%,
Is this the
and
new
then you
math?
double it. I don't know. I'm too old for that.
Well, they just
But
do
my
it for
pink
you in
hair
the
makes
book.
me, yeah.
Isn't 1/5 of 60
Yeah.
12?
Yes.
Also, that character sheet PDF we're doing
Yeah.
does it for
Yeah.
you.
Thank you, Becca,
Yeah.
for the hot tip on this AutoCalc sheet.
Oh yeah, AutoCalc. You gotta have Adobe products, but it's
You
worth
really
it.
do.
But yeah, in the Keeper book on page 49, there's a great chart that does all 100 numbers and what their half is and what their fifth is. Right
Yeah,
there.
Or
it's
you
great
could
because I
just
think
do
you
stupid math.
round. You round down. I
Round
believe.
down, yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, you just consult the chart. And why is this important? It has to do with checks. So if I say, all right, roll me a strength check, regular difficulty, and your strength is 60, you just got to roll 60 or under. If I say, all right, you know what? That's kind of hard what you want to do. This is going to be a hard difficulty. Rolling just under 60 isn't enough. That person would have to roll under half of 60, have to roll under 30. And then if it's extreme difficulty, that's where the 1/5 number comes into play. So again, I think it's a really, really cool system just to be able to gauge difficulty by like, tell me what you want to do. Okay, well, based on the circumstances, that's regular, hard, or extreme. And you may fail on an extreme check, but I'll let it succeed and something horrible will happen. There's also things you can do where you can get a bonus die or a penalty die where you'd roll the D10's number twice and either choose the better or choose the worse. Getting ahead of myself, but again, that's where those numbers come into play. Let's keep rocking and rolling here to some of the derived attributes. I said it before, your sanity is equal to your power. So everybody's 40 except old average Joe.
Not so average insanity or mental fortitude, as it turns
Or
out.
magic, as it were, because next up is your magic points, which is equal to 1/5 your power score. So if all of you are 40, it would be 8 MP, and then little old Joe is going to be 4 MP. It may not come into play. This is basically we're dealing with a world where magic does exist or can exist, and so magic points are just a stat that may or may not come into play.
Yeah, can you explain that to me? Like if you're making a character who is who runs a soup kitchen or who is behind the bar at a speakeasy, like where does magic come in? Do they know they have magic? Do they not know they have magic? Is it?
You're behind the bar, and all of a sudden, a guy leaves, and you're like, "Hey, you forgot your book." And you pick up the book, and you open the book, and you're like, "What the hell is this stuff?" And you start reading, and there are like spells and shit in here, and you're like, "What is this?" And so you take that book home with you, and you're sitting in your little tent by candlelight reading it, and you start to see if these spells are real, and you start casting these spells. That's one
You
way
have to have a
magic
certain
points can
innate
come into play.
ability to make it happen.
Yeah, well, the more magic points you have, the better, the easier life's going to be. Otherwise, the magic can get out of control. I think magic points, I could be wrong, and Becca and Nora, please step in and let me know. I feel like magic points come into play in specific scenarios and in long-term campaigns.
Yeah, I just ran a scenario where it took a combined effort of magic points. One person needed to roll their power, and everybody else could contribute some magic points, which will refresh 1 point per hour in game. And they did that to cast this epic spell to bind a demon into a suitcase. So just normal stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've never, it's never come into gameplay in any of the games that I've played yet.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
A fun fact is if you require, say, 10 magic points to complete something, and someone only has 7 to spend, they can borrow from their hit points. And the hit points aren't going to regenerate in the same way magic points are, but it's like blood magic.
That's right. I've been like pouring through this. I read like the first 250
There's a lot
pages.
of information in there.
That is cool. Yeah, if you don't have enough magic points left to cast a certain spell, you can draw from your HP, drain your own hit points to be able to cast a spell. It's really interesting because part of the Cthulhu mythos, part of this whole Lovecraftian world is that like there's a lot of stuff going on that we don't see. And when confronted with it, it could drive us insane. So in this fantasy setting, all of us have innate magical ability. It's just whether or not you're able to actually use it. I don't know, it's a cool thing, and I like that it's derived from your power number. Next up is luck, which I've already told you is going to start at a measly 20, which is just brutal. There are a number of optional rules in the book, more than I can wrap my head around, but one that I know that I'll be using is that you can burn your luck points to improve your roll. I think that's fun. That's what we do in Delta Green, isn't it, Joe? You have a pool like that, or did I make that up? Isn't there something in Delta Green where you can like add to your roll with a luck type situation?
I don't think so.
It was in Tales from the
forget
Loop.
I ever
If
said
you
it.
checked out our Tales from the Loop stream.
It was in Cyberpunk.
Nice plug. That's what it was.
Cyberpunk Red.
Cyberpunk. Yeah, you had like it was a refillable pool. Well, luck refills as well. Unfortunately for you, I don't think it will. And then your hit points are equal to your size plus your con divided by 10 rounded down. I believe there's a table for that as well. But I'm just curious what you guys came up with. Your sheets may have auto-calculated it. What does a common investigator have for hit points, Nora?
Commonly, I only see where even I think it just did this for me. So
Yeah.
I forgot the part in the book where where if you wanted to calculate it, but mine's at a 13. You don't have a lot.
No.
It's con plus size divided by 10, you just mentioned. I'm
Yeah.
at
Con plus
13
size.
too.
Oh,
Yeah.
con plus. Sorry, I was con plus size.
Yeah.
Anybody,
So you
can
have
anybody beat a
140?
13?
Your
Divided
con
I'm a 13
by
as well.
10. Yeah, it is. So it is 13. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
I
Squishy
got
big brawny
10
ladies.
10 HP.
10.
I had 45 con, 55 size, so that's 100 divided by 10 is 10.
10. And Becca, would you say 13 as well?
I'm a 13. Mm-hmm.
13.
Can't
Lucky
kill me.
13. What about old Dancing Maddie?
My character has 14 hit points. That's because I put
Oh!
that 90 in my size.
Wow, so you're a big, strong dancer.
He's the anchor, as
Yeah.
maybe they say in dance world.
I'm not sure. Do they say that? Do they say that? Any dancers here? Colin,
That dances in
The
chat.
heavy.
The heavy,
the heavy.
the lifter, the one who lifts things like people.
I only
Oh,
watch.
so you're a bottom.
Yes, I'm a bottom.
That's what they're called. I only watch So You Think You Can Dance, which I just love. It's a real great show. They took last year off. A lot of shows did. Not us. Any poop. Let's talk about move rate. You know, I'm sure. Becca and Nora, you've played before. Do you play on maps often, or is it all theater of the
No,
mind?
I usually do theater of the mind.
I sometimes will try and do a very half-assed, okay, well, this monster has a faster move rate, so if you try and run away and you don't get an extreme success, they're going to catch up kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, when it's in battle, it is a different, but usually in most scenarios, I use it.
Yeah, I feel like this game lends itself much better to just picturing it, because part of horror is like that cognitive dissonance between what I say and what you imagine. And so, I don't know, for me it seems a lot more fun to try and just explain it, and then you imagine it, and you may imagine it differently from me, but therein lies the, oh God, what's happening? Why is it on top of me?
Well, it's a
Still, it
stat
isn't-
you can use if you're using the old adage of like, if you're running away from a lion, you don't have to be faster than the lion. You just have to be faster than your buddy that's also running from the lion.
Yeah. A classic.
You're not
So the
wrong.
move rate can dictate, you know, who's the closest to the lion.
In
So
this
that's
case,
the kind of game we're playing.
good thing Joe is your buddy.
Oh, man.
And the lion's hungry. But again, the movement for this is all based on your strength and dex. So combine your strength and dex, and if they're less than your size, your movement is 7. If your strength and dex is equal to your size, excuse me. Oh, sorry. Blah, you don't add them together. If both your dex and your strength are less than your size, your move is 7. If either is equal to or greater, or all are equal, your movement is 8. If both your strength and dex are greater than your size, your movement is 9. Does that make sense?
Yep.
and then if you're
and very
older, you
cool.
lose.
It's just so cool. I love when the mechanics exactly explain what's happening. You know, because
Yeah.
like if you're really large, even if you're strong and dexterous, you're not going to be that fast. You know, it's a cool balance.
And you
so
lose-
I have 1 is higher and 1 isn't, so I'm an 8.
You're an 8. 8s, 9s. Any 9s?
No, mine are
Can I get
both
a nine?
lower.
I'm an 8.
I'm a 7.
I get a 9?
Most
you're-
humans are 8, usually, most of the time.
Yeah, and if you're in your 40s, you lose a point. 50s, you lose 2 points. So the older you get, the slower you get.
Too real.
She's petite. She's got little legs. Probably not moving very fast.
Great. All right, we're more than halfway through here. Let's get to the real juicy part. Occupation, or for our intents and purposes, former occupation. We know that we've got a cook slash boxer, aspiring boxer.
I'm going to lean into boxer as far as occupational skills go.
Okay, so you're a boxer for occupation. I like that. Okay. So are you an aspiring boxer, or do you think you were a boxer that like had her bell rung and she's not in the game anymore, or is she like just down and out?
I think down and out because everybody's down and out, but like I was gonna make it big before my trainer and my manager Benny, or maybe some other name that is relevant to your
No, Benny is
scenario.
now part of the show.
Yeah, well, when Benny's gym closed, you know, I didn't have a place to train anymore, and so I was gonna make it big, and I still will. It's just we got knocked down a couple pegs, me and Benny. Also, Benny says he's my ex-manager, but I claim he's still my manager.
Wow. Tale as old as time, though, right? I could have been a contender. I could have been
Exactly.
somebody. This
That's
is this
me.
character.
That's Shirley. That's Shirley for you.
That's Shirley. That sums up Shirley.
That's all Cheryl. Hello, Levan. And then Nora, we're thinking saloon-y type. Like you can't. What brought you to Massachusetts? How did you get over here? How long have you been here?
I would say she's probably running from the authorities in some aspect or another. So perhaps she tried to open up another place. Maybe she didn't have enough means to do so. So I'm actually wondering if she, for looking up the stats in the book, because you do have different options and they give you different investigator skills. I was wondering between whether she would be bartender or shopkeeper in the book.
Dealer's
Because-
choice. What do you like?
I mean, they're very similar, but
Yeah.
perhaps if she is down on her luck, as I'm presuming that everybody is, maybe she had downsized to bartender as she has moved away and trying to,
I can think of a bar
keep her
that you
rest.
worked at in the area, for example, and they're hurting as well, and she couldn't keep you on anymore. But now you've got a relationship with her. Maybe she helps out the camp, but like, you've already given me a million ideas. So bartender definitely
do bartender.
definitely works.
Okay.
Matthew, is dancer an occupation or artist, performer?
No, I'm going with actor as the official occupation.
Actor, okay. All right, this is a concept you threw at me a few weeks ago. I like this. So you're just straight up actor, but now your agent isn't calling anymore.
The tour broke down outside of Boston, so we are where we are.
You're just living in a cardboard box. Joe, you went let's just roll across the board and see what happens. What is this concept?
So this is a journalist. He's going to be a journalist by occupation, formerly
Okay.
a journalist. I'm like going nuts here because you guys are so ready. I thought we were going to be like rolling on the backstory ideas, and I'm
It's
so now I'm
your
like,
show. We try to look good because we didn't know,
No.
what we were coming into.
Yeah, I was
We did
nervous.
too
I
much
wanted to
homework.
come prepared.
It's
No, I
not your
appreciate
fault,
it.
Joe. It's our fault.
But now I'm running to like try to think of why he's not a journalist anymore, and I think I have a good idea, but it's a little dark, but I think it's good. So he's a journalist that was he was working for the
There it is.
there it is, right? I gotta find it there. He was working for the Lawrence Daily Eagle, and he was a sports writer and covering the Sox. And he got himself wrapped up in a story that was a little too good. He couldn't turn away from it, and it got him in a lot of trouble, so he got fired. And now he's slumming it here in Crawley, and I don't know if he's got a family or anything yet, but yeah, so he is a sports journalist that is really down on his luck, and he's sort of like, he spent a lot of time around these great ball players and just kind of like, working his way into rooms and getting to know people, but nobody ever really liked him that much. And he's very ordinary, and he's just very like, he could be in a room and you wouldn't even know he's there. So that works sometimes for him, but he's also not an impressive person by any stretch. And he just sort of bummed around with these kind of like greats, and until this situation got him fired, and now he's really down on his luck. I don't know about family or anything. I'm going to try to roll for that. So I think there's some interesting stuff in the book that allows you to roll for like what your family situation is and stuff like that. So I want to see if he's just out there on his own or if he's got like kids to feed. Like I don't even know yet, which is cool. You can roll for it. So
I love this. There are no pre-generated characters for this that are boxer, bartender, journalist, and dancer. This is going to be amazing. Grant, go ahead and throw up page 40 and 41 of the Keeper's Rule Handbook. You'll see that each occupation has a set of skills associated with it. And you get to roll first your occupation skill points to see how many points you have to allocate amongst just those skills. So everyone is specialized in their own thing. Your dilettante here has they can put a Lovecraftian art craft, firearms, other languages, ride, one interpersonal skill. Everybody has their own thing, but basically you'll see for a dilettante, for example, they roll their education times 2 plus their appearance times 2. Whatever that number is, say it's 70. Now they've got 70 points to split up amongst those skills. And some skills start with a base number as well. I don't have the character sheet in front of me, but I'm thinking like Delta Green, same thing. Like your perception always starts at 20 or something like that.
Yeah,
So-
you have a base, yeah.
So if you put it into a skill that has a base, you add to that skill. So go ahead and just kind of throw those attributes out as you go. I am curious though. I'm just going to look through as you guys are doing that and see what you all get.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can you tell me one more time? It's your education times
No,
whatever.
every occupation is different. So find
I
your
know. So what is it? How do you actually calculate it?
What's your education?
My education is 70.
70. And did you find journalist? Yeah, there
Yeah.
he is.
So
Yeah,
it's
so
times
70
4.
times 4, straight up. So 280 points you have to distribute.
Whoa,
Yeah, dude.
That's a lot of points.
that's a lot of points.
All right. See, you're coming up on the back end. It's all about the back 9.
Right.
Finishing strong.
All right.
So hold on, one question. So we go through the skills listed underneath our occupation, and we can allocate them just to those skills.
Just to those skills. And then there'll be there's another chance for you to allocate personal skills if you're like, you know what, we might get into a fight and I don't have anything under firearms or brawl. I think I'll put some points there. But it is cool in that, like, your occupation, it isn't just education based. Like the dilettante, his or her appearance times 2 gets added into the mix. Education isn't as important. If you look
Mine too.
good. And then a farmer gets to add their dex or their strength times 2 to their education times 2. Very, very cool. Again, every time I'm just wowed by this system the more I dig into it. The thought that went into how these skills come out. It's really, really cool. So how's everybody looking? What are you guys good at? What are you not so good at? Well, we know what you're not so good at. Everything else.
So Penelope, being a bartender, she's good at accounting, charm, fighting, because, bar fights. You got to break up those bar fights.
Of course.
Listen, persuade, psychology for some reason, but it's there. I guess you got to know if there's CD dealings going on. If somebody's playing a card game, you got to know how to win at a hand.
Know when to hold them?
Spot hidden, and I took firearms because, again, Moses lack with a shotgun. It's gonna come into play.
That's good. I don't think firearms is an option for actor.
It's not, but you could. It's not for actor, but like for. It says you can choose any one other skill, so that's the one that I chose.
That's smart. I imagine, sometimes things got out of hand. You had to reach under the bar, and there she is.
Sometimes people just don't know how to act right.
Take it outside,
Exactly.
you scallywags.
You can settle a bar tab so easily just with that little.
Back in my bartending days, there was always a baseball bat, like behind the trash can, to the far right of the bar. We never used it. We always knew it was there. I also think one of the bouncers had a gun, but that baseball bat, that's what we'd use. Becca, how's the old cook looking?
Oh, Shirley, let me tell you about Shirley. She's got more than your average amount of dodge. You gotta get out of the way. It's not just being fast in, you gotta be fast back out. Of course, fighting, brawl, that's kind of her number one thing. Intimidate, she's great at. She's also a big girl, so you should just get real close to you and look down, and that's always intimidating. She's good at jumping. You wouldn't think, but boxers gotta jump. And psychology
Boxers
a little
gotta
bit.
jump.
Yeah.
Boxer's got to jump.
It's all that jumper.
You
Gotta
don't,
do the jumper.
yeah, it's all the
Jump
jump
like a
rope. It's
butterfly,
from
sting
my
like a cook.
montage scenes, Yeah.
Jump like a butterfly.
Sting
I
like a
just
cook.
watched the Muhammad Ali documentary, and damn that man. What a good man. Anyway.
She'll punch your lights out and feed you supper.
I will. But not if. Oh, but if tips were a thing, you better tip.
You guys are making me
Spot hidden.
reconsider my accent.
No, please just do the fast talking accent.
Spot hidden is always good in Call of Cthulhu. If you're doing a pre-built scenario, I know I'm gonna need, this is meta, but I'm gonna need some spot hidden. So good thing that's on there. And then any 2 other skills as personal or era specialties. So I'm gonna think about how ladling soup is gonna. I'll use those last 50 skill points I've got here to sort of go towards my day job there, not just my passion.
I love it. Yeah, and spot hidden is basically the perception of Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
I think there are a couple other things that would fall into that. Sometimes psychology is just as important as spot hidden. If you're trying to, like, it's kind of like a sense motive. It has a lot more meaning in this game than it does in Pathfinder. You know, in Pathfinder you use sense motive when you're just trying to find out what this person is talking. Sometimes psychology is getting into the mind of the person you're. It's like doing a mind perception. So there are skills here that are you really don't want to skimp on if you can. I'm just thinking, like, this party is an unbelievably well balanced party for no possible adventure. Joe, how are your skills shaken out there? Your occupational skills?
Good. I think I'm pretty good. I'm just trying to, I think I'm good. It's so funny, like, the way that this has changed for me over the time since I first played Call of Cthulhu, where I was just like, all I want is firearms, dodge, stealth, jump, you know what I mean? Like all that stuff. And now I just think of it in a whole different way because the investigation is so important. So like Nora, I have a pretty good accounting, put some points in accounting. My highest skills are fast talk at 75, which I like as the journalist, and library use at 70. So, we'll see if that comes up. And then I put some
You're a
points.
plagiarist.
Yeah, I put some points in. I also have psychology and history as a journalist, and then the other ones that I added on were firearms, handgun, because he got into some trouble for this situation, so he just like nervously keeps a handgun, but he's not very good at it. And then I just put 10 points in that, and then disguise I put in because he could just kind of like slip into a room. He's very unremarkable. And I can't remember what the third.
I like that, like an undercover journalist.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's just
Hello.
Yeah, exactly. Like because he's just such an everyman. Like and he's got. And I like the idea behind fast talk. I was reading that. It's like fast talk is specifically limited to verbal trickery, deception, and misdirection, such as bamboozling a bouncer to let you inside a club, getting someone to sign a form they haven't read, making a policeman look the other way, all that kind of stuff. It's the stuff journalists do. You know what I mean? So I think it could be fun. And I don't know what I can't remember. Oh, and then I have art photography. So I guess I'll carry around a
little side hobby.
Maybe that's my one possession that I kept. So I stole a camera.
Your treasured possession.
Out of the newspaper.
Right.
I can't remember what the third extra skill is that I picked, but I'll find it eventually. It's disguise. It was accounting. Accounting doesn't come with journalists, but I took it because I just think it's really interesting. Ever since reading Delta Green, I'm like, accounting is so useful when you're like investigating something, being able to look at the numbers. And
we've mentioned Delta Green a lot. Nora and Becca, do you play Delta Green at all? Have you played?
I've never played.
Oh.
I know it's modern cosmic horror, right?
Oh yeah, it's X-Files basically.
It's X-Files. Yeah.
The system is similar but different. Crits and fumbles are different. It's great, and that was another pandemic game that we started playing that's now about to have its own series. Anyways, God, I just love this. Matthew, as we get to you, I want to move on as Matthew is talking about his skills to your personal skills, because it's great that your occupation gives you what it gives you, but there might be some other stuff you want to do as well. Like you're playing an adventure, you might want to have the ability to fight, whether that be brawling or melee or firearms, and maybe just have other skills to round yourself out. Maybe spot hidden isn't one of your occupational skills, and you're like, well, shit, now Troy said I need that, I got to put some points in there. So take your intelligence, multiply it by 2, and allocate those points anywhere you want. And same thing is if you have a base skill that's like a 10 or 20, you just add it onto there. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you could min-max and just put that on your occupational skills as well. I think you can allocate those anywhere you want. But might be a good chance to round yourself out. Matthew, let's talk about your dancer.
Yes. So I need your permission I get art craft. Normally it's art craft in parentheses acting. Would you mind if I put that if I took dancing? Because really he's an actor nominally. The musical theater hasn't really evolved to become like a musical theater yet. We're still in the musical comedy land. He's more of a dancer.
We have partnered with Chaosium for this, and I just feel like I wouldn't be doing them a disservice if I just created some. Yes, of course you can use dancing.
It's in the book. I checked. It's in the book.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
You've earned it.
Oh, thanks. So he has art craft, dancing,
Dancing.
disguise, because
Disguise, yes.
makeup, the old
course.
grease paint,
Old age makeup.
the old age makeup. Yeah, exactly. Put on get the shirt, the spirit gum out, and put on some fake mustache.
Oh, spirit gum.
Fighting, believe it or not, I guess like they think stage fighting, like you learn how to do stage combat.
That's of course.
History
Of
and
dance.
charm. These are I believe these are interpersonal skills. So I took charm and persuade, figuring like he's always after the next job. See, and
Smart.
he's got to be
It's kind of working out like maybe Shirley is the muscle and maybe you're the face here. But obviously, Nora's character can handle herself in a fight as well, and then Joe's just there.
I'm just there.
But we got a face. It's good.
Yeah.
But you're the knowledge. You might be the brains of the operation.
Yeah, he's the brains.
Yeah, you can do the
He might be
investigator.
the researcher. Yeah, the investigator.
This crew, I'm telling you.
I know a guy. I
got a feeling about this crew.
And then I get psychology, and I took spot hidden as my last other skill that I could use.
Okay, great.
Troy, did you give people the rundown on credit rating?
I didn't. I didn't get there yet. But you know what? Let's jump ahead to credit rating before we talk about where you threw in some of those personal skills. And honestly, I don't need to know anything. If there's anything out there that really excited you about where you put your personal skills, like if you're like, you know what, I had 30 and I put them all into firearms. That's interesting. If you put another 10 onto something else, I don't care. But yes, credit rating would be dependent on your occupation. Normally, if you're a police detective, your credit rating falls between 20 and 50. If you're a musician, between 9 and 30. Everyone in this adventure will be starting with a credit rating of 0, which means
you were kidding.
You are penniless, and you have no finances. Now, that doesn't mean that when we get to the section where you start rolling about your treasured possessions, maybe you have, a Babe Ruth rookie card that's worth, well, actually it wouldn't be worth anything in the 20s and the 30s, but you have something that might be worth a lot, but you won't sell
Are you
it.
kidding? It'd be worth $1 million. You got to be kidding me. The Babe?
Why
He's
did
at the height of his career right now. He's at the height of his career in 1932.
But you might have something that's worth something, but you won't sell it. But yeah, you are all poor and basically dying. It's a horrible, horrible situation. So let's talk about any interesting, just very quickly, any interesting personal skills that got kind of thrown out there.
I can throw. I was on the little boys' little league team. I dressed up like a boy to get on it. And as I got older, I just started, I could be the first woman boxer. I could be the first woman to do this. But back then, I wore a hat, and honestly, nobody asked too many questions because my appearance, it's pretty low.
All right, so you put some points in throw.
Yup.
It's important.
I also did listen because I'm a meta player.
Yes.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart.
I did listen because I didn't catch it the first time around, but I was like, a journalist, you got to be able to listen.
Yeah.
Have your ear to the ground for the next big story.
Yeah, exactly.
I figured sometimes when you're boxing, you close your eyes and you just listen for the tap of the feet.
That's what they teach you in boxing school.
Right. Close your
All of
eyes.
those
Close
lessons
your
where
eyes
you
and you're
had
in the ring.
the blindfolds as you were
I'll picture it. Shirley's like first day of boxing camp.
where is he?
Instructor's just
Where
like,
is he?
all right, first thing I want you to do, close your eyes. Close your eyes.
What are you
Punches you in the face.
for?
You're not ready.
You're not ready, kid.
You're not ready, kid.
You're never gonna make it to this town.
And then I decked
did
him
it.
back. He was an old man. I couldn't go back to that boxing school.
Nora, what'd you throw some personal skills into?
I used it to up my, some of the stuff that I already had. But I added sleight of hand.
Ooh.
Is this your card?
You need sleight of hand if you're in a skeezy speakeasy and people are gambling. You gotta have sleight of hand.
A speak skeezy?
Skeezy.
Hey, you don't talk about your own establishment like that.
It's the finest joint in
Yes,
town.
I
easy
work
when
in a
you're
very
there.
classy place. I'm thinking of redoing the accent.
No, that's great.
I'm like, I thought we were doing a Western. Did not know we were.
I love it.
She
Keeps coming
comes
back
with
to
full
this. It's
leather,
so great.
rented a
Did
horse.
not know we were going to Massachusetts. So whatever. Maybe I play in a classy.
There
Maybe
it
I
is.
work in a classy joint. I also took. So I took sleight of hand, and I also took stealth.
Can I put you on the spot?
Yeah.
Why did you think we were going to do a Western?
I swear I thought I read it somewhere in the email threads. I don't know.
I just sent a
thought
lot
it
of
was
emails.
there. You said there was first of all, there was 3 or 4 different separate threads of, so I didn't know. I thought preliminarily in there somewhere, I thought I read Western. You know what it might have been? You probably said Great Depression 1930s, and I automatically went Dust Bowl, like Grapes of Wrath in my head.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, checks out, fine. And then you're like, Massachusetts. I was like, oh, I was not prepared for this.
Oh, I love it though.
I wish
Can you
you'd showed up
please?
in like a 10-gallon
Why
hat.
is my hat braided?
Ready for Massachusetts.
I just
It's
love
fine.
the image. I love the image
fine.
though. Can't we in this little shanty town? Can't you have like a horse tethered up front? Of
course.
Just like
Of course
a
you
little
can.
dress and umbrella.
A parasol. Why am I doing
parasol,
this?
that's
Why
it.
did I? No, I'm not. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to make this regionally friendly to what we're doing.
There's no wrong answers.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I might change it up a little bit.
Well, that's
Hey,
what I
that's-
love about Ep 1 of New Game Who Dis. It's like
Yeah.
you're not done the character until the character's done. So you gotta
figure 'em out.
Make a lot
You're
of
like,
changes
I've-
as you go.
Thought you were a prairie prohibition. No, I wasn't.
I don't know what you're talking about,
You got
sweetheart.
wrong information. Yeah. No. This is going to be. It's fine.
It's going to be great.
We're doing this. It's going to be great.
I'm gonna power ahead here to very quickly damage bonus and build. If you have a strength plus size, basically add your strength and size, and tell me what it is. And I'll tell you what your DB and your build is. So your damage bonus is like if you're really strong and you got a lot of size, if you ever punch somebody or hit somebody, you're gonna do damage bonus. And also your build becomes important basically when you're grappling or trying to mixing up somebody who might have a different build number than yours. These are just small derived stats that may or may not become important. So add your strength and size and let me know what it is. Matthew, we'll start with you.
150.
150. Not bad, kid. Your DB
thanks.
is plus 1d4, and your build is 1. Becca.
I told you Shirley was a big girl. We got 135 weighing in.
135. I'm sure if you
Oh,
have
sorry,
the auto
strength
count.
and size. 125, but still good. Still good.
Ooh, 125 is the cutoff to have a 1d4 and a build of 1. Maybe your AutoCalc sheets already do this, but for the folks at home, this is important. Nora, strength plus size.
I got a $1.25.
$1.25. Ooh, right on the cusp again. All right, so you get that plus 1d4 to your damage bonus and a 1 build. What about old average Joe?
105.
I thought you were going to say 124. Might as well be. Your damage bonus is 0 and your build is 0. Silver lining, it could be worse. They could be negative numbers.
Okay.
If you are a scrawny teenager.
Just says real big in black and white right on my sheet there. Damage bonus, none. It's like, okay, it doesn't say 0, it just says none. Oh, man.
All right, let's get to the final part, and arguably the most important part of character creation. These tables towards the end here. Grant, go ahead and toss up these tablas that start on page Jiminy John. You know what I'm talking
43.
about. Thank you. Page 43. Now, just like we did with Cyberpunk Red a little over a month ago, you don't have to roll on these if you don't want to. If you're like, you know what, I kind of have an idea of what I want, and I'm afraid of it being not what I want. I just want to pick blah, blah, blah. You can pick it. If you want to live wild, go ahead and roll a d10 and see what happens. Let's start with ideology beliefs. This is going to round out your character. I'm seeing a lot more games out there now. Even Pathfinder adopted it, or Pathfinder First Edition adopted it when they created the whole. What is that book that had all the background stuff you could roll for, Joe? Can you remember off the top of your head?
No.
Because that wasn't in the original edition, but they started to bring this in. And I think it's because a lot of other systems do this. And it's a great way to get new role players into it because you're like, I don't know how to build a character. I don't know anything about this guy or girl. Well, this is a fun way to kind of round them out by throwing some traits in there randomly. So ideology beliefs, you can either pick one or roll for one. Let me know what you got, starting with Joe.
I rolled a 1, which is there is a higher power that you worship and pray to. So I'll just say he's Catholic.
He's Catholic, so not Vishnu, as they suggest.
No. That's the first on the list is Vishnu, but
Vishnu.
I think it makes more sense for this guy from Lawrence, Mass to be Catholic.
Straight up
Page
Catholic.
did you say this was on? I'm sorry.
Page. Oh, this. You know, I'm looking at the Keeper handbook, and it's 43, but on the
52 in the investigators.
52. If you're following along at home, that's 52 in the Investigator's handbook. What did you roll, Becca, or choose?
I rolled and I chose. So I chose the only way to prove yourself is to be the best. But I'm curious what number 5 is. I don't have it in front of me.
Oh, member of a society or secret society. Maybe you're a part of the Great Boxers Guild.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like I would really want to join the Great Boxers Guild, and that's a goal, but I'm not in yet. I feel
not
like
in
I'm
it
an
yet.
outsider.
Yeah, they suggest like
you
the
could
Freemasons or Scientologists or something.
Oh god,
Yeah,
no! I
couldn't you
can't even
also-
roleplay that. That's too dark. I want Cthulhian horror. I don't want real life horror. You don't want that's why I play this
Cruisian
game.
horror.
I live in
Travoltian
Los
horror.
Angeles. Do you understand how much real estate there is here that is owned by Scientology? They're unavoidable. It's terrifying. Sorry, Joe. You had a character pitch.
Yeah, I was just going to say that she could be part of an illegal boxing ring, like an underground, like prize fighting ring.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh
Fight
yeah.
Club.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Fight Club kind of stuff. In Depression era, it could be a way to make some coin.
That's how I make $1.
Yeah.
$1.
That's good. This is why this is fun. I like that. That's already percolate, percolate.
Yeah.
Matthew, what'd you roll on the old ideology table?
I chose. That's okay.
Well, all right.
I think my character back in the day when he was still performing on, when he was still treading the boards, was
Of course.
He was big into Actors Equity Association. Was a member of a union, so he was big in the union, and still knows some people that are in this still forming actors union.
Okay.
That's really going to get us far in this story.
Yep.
You don't know what kind of connections they have, Joe.
I guess Matthew read the adventure.
on me.
Yeah. Watch out for the AEA.
That's my job. This whole thing takes place in a strike outside of SAG-AFTRA. That's the inciting event.
And yet
Cthulhu
they were
comes down
gonna
and
perform
squashes
Waiting
the
for
strike.
Lefty. Really ironic.
Nora, what did you roll or choose for
I
ideology beliefs?
rolled a 7. I don't know that it really fits in with the characters.
That's all right. It's worth giving it a roll.
So it's the occult, astrology, spirituals, and tarot. I don't know how much it fits into her backstory, unless maybe there's something that she's not telling everybody. Or we could just squash that and
Yeah.
make her just like a total hedonist.
Maybe there was a tarot reader in the back of your saloon and you didn't believe it till she gave you a reading that was so right on.
Dun, dun,
It
dun.
freaked you out.
Two.
Yeah, man.
And that's why you're penniless.
What did she tell
yeah.
you that day? What did she
That
tell
you would give her
She
all
told
your
me.
money.
She told me avoid the stock market.
You didn't believe her.
And you didn't listen.
I didn't listen.
And you gave all your money to GME.
Get out of here,
I
you
put it
swamp
all
witch.
on black. No, so maybe a fortune teller had told me, had given me some sort of prophecy, and I thought it was all BS until it wasn't.
Now you're questioning everything. I like that.
Yes.
You open our story with conflict, especially if weird things start to happen. Significant people. Ooh, this is important. Now, I'll tell you right now. Like I said before, there are pre-generated investigators for this scenario we're going to do. I threw them out because this is more interesting. But I am going to try to introduce elements of that in here. And people that may be close to you are not safe. So think about that as you create your significant people. Roll or choose Joe O'Brien.
All right, I'm going to roll. Let's see. 8. A famous person. Your idol or hero you may never even have met.
Ooh. Could be a ball player.
Could be
or
a ball player.
Famous journalist.
Could it be the babe? Could it be the babe? Let me think about it.
Okay. Yeah, it's just important that it is some sort of famous person. Becca, what'd you get?
Oh gosh, where you rolled a child. I was kind of thinking that I have an ex-husband.
Okay.
So maybe there's a child involved as well. I don't know. I didn't want a kid, but I guess the die said I have one.
You don't have to have the kid. If
Good.
you don't
I want
it.
an ex-husband. His name is Ned. And I'm going to get Ned back. Ned doesn't believe. I feel like maybe he left me because he doesn't think I'm going to be a true boxer. But really, I just picture like nobody's seen Ned, and then like somebody meets him and he's like a very meek, mild-mannered man. It's like, I think I want to be with you, Shirley.
You're so
Ned, I'll fight for you back.
I like this. Ned is outside of this shanty town. So like while maybe Ned's fallen on hard times too. I don't know. We'll figure out Ned later, but you're here alone. Who knows what the hell Ned's doing? That's
know
already
where
very
Ned is.
interesting. Matthew, significant people?
I rolled, but it worked out well. I rolled I rolled a 5, so that gives me a partner. So I'm going to make this not a romantic partner, but my former dance partner, who was, we've been we're a little bit of a team. We did a couple dream ballets together, and now we're trying to make it in the big bad world together. It's, my former dance partner, Albertine Ricks.
Albertine Ricks?
Yeah.
And are they in the shanty town?
She is in the shanty town.
Okay.
We look out for each other.
Okay. Albertine Ricks, dance partner in the shanty town. Okay, I'm working this through in my head as I'm trying to create this story. Nora.
All right, let's see what we get.
Roll the die.
What's an 8? 8, 8, 8.
That's a famous
person. I met a famous person.
Oh my.
Your idol or hero you may never have even met. I would say I would want her to be like a famous actress of the time. So let me see, 1930s. I gotta look up somebody.
Catherine Hepburn.
We're gonna put a
Google
pin in Mae West and see if I don't know if that's the right person for the era.
Well, this is important now. So while you're looking up an important person for the era, we'll come back to Joe. If you haven't found your person yet, that's fine. But the next D10 roll is, why is that person significant to you? And this is important. And if I'm able to do my job, it will come to bear at some point over the next couple weeks. Why is whoever you chose or haven't chose yet important to you? Give me a D10.
All right. So I'm going to say that my famous person is St. Louis Cardinals outfielder Goose Goslin.
Okay.
He's a guy I covered when he was with the Sox before he got traded, and I got to know him a little bit, and it was amazing. Great guy, and home run leader in 1930, halfway through the season before a terrible injury set him back. So pulling for Goose. Well, I guess we'll see.
Why?
We'll see if
Why?
I'm pulling for Goose, yeah. 10-0.
They have crossed you and you seek revenge.
What in the...
Love it.
For what
Love
do you
it.
blame them? Death of a loved one? Your financial ruin? Marital breakup? Maybe he was sleeping with your wife.
You took
Forget what I just said about Goose Goslin being a great guy.
You thought he
this is my
was
wife,
until.
Goose.
Forget what I said. Yeah. Oh, this dirtbag. What did he do?
I can't believe he broke up your marriage.
First base foul line.
Back into the left.
He subscribed
Wow,
to
alright.
the second spitter theory for a while, and then
You think about, there must have been a second spitter.
Second
What
spitter.
about your ex-husband? Let's find out what your relationship was really like. Why are they so significant to you? Sounds obvious. They're your ex-husband. Let's dig a little deeper.
Well, I rolled a boring old 5 again.
Shared experience. Okay, but you know what?
I think we grew up together.
You were childhood sweethearts.
Yeah, he broke away from me, but I'll catch him again. Oh, I'll catch him. We wed when we were 17.
That's a tough age.
Yeah, well, he
Although it was
says he
normal
grew out
back
of me, but he can grow back in.
Put that on a t-shirt. Matthew did the Kermit drink of water. Nora, what about you? Were you? Did you find an actor or actress of the times?
I think we're gonna do Rita Hayworth.
Oh, classic.
Oh, yeah.
Shawshank Connection.
there you
Right? Oh,
old Rita Cancino.
Did she cross you and you seek revenge? Let's find out.
go. Let's find out. While you roll it, I just want to cut in here and mention, for those that didn't come on till a little bit later, we are giving away 3 copies of the starter set of Call of Cthulhu tonight. So if you're liking what you're seeing here with character creation, you want to try it out yourself. Yep. Oh, there it is. There it is. Becca's got a copy of it herself. So that is the Call of Cthulhu starter set. Chaosium has generously donated them to the stream. So Brennan will drop the link in chat here, and click on the link. It'll take you to how you can enter, and we'll draw 3 winners. Look for the winners in chat by the end of the stream.
That's good, Becca.
Are you ready?
I enjoyed it too much.
All right. What did they do to you? What did Rita do?
I rolled a 4,
You wronged them.
and I
Wronged Rita Hayworth.
I wronged
You robbed
Rita
her.
Hayworth. I will never forgive myself.
It says you seek reconciliation. What did you do? Did she
Listen.
stroll into your bar one night?
You'll have to watch our show to find out.
Oh,
That's what.
little
Oh, I see you
secret.
taking that front page home with us. Nice,
right.
nice.
Rita
I like
Hayworth.
it. I like it.
And Matthew, let's find out your real connection to your partner.
I also rolled a 5. Shared experience. Listen. You can only do so many shows, go on so many times, and when somebody's out of the show, you make a connection with people. You do
Just
the
being on
lifts,
tour.
You do the leaps. I don't know. People dance.
You should have a write-in ability for leap in
I,
case it
Right
comes up.
ability for Jete.
I'm sorry. Can I just say, can I just change it to I want to seek revenge on Rita Hayworth? Because I just think that'd be really funny.
Yep. And maybe
Yup.
Joe, you could take the wronged goose and seek reconciliation. You guys want to trade? Do a little trade?
No, I'm not going to trade because I got my story now. Now it came together. We could both do it. We could both
Yeah, of course.
revenge.
Yeah, you're living on the edge.
All right. So
Meaningful. Oh, you got
The
the story?
30s, everybody
yeah. So here's
wants
what happened with
revenge.
this dirtbag Goose Goslin. This guy.
Your idol.
This is coming to earth, my idol. For years, I trusted this guy. I thought he was incredible, and then and it's going to get a little dark here. I apologize, but hey, this kind of stuff happens. Goose was. He was. I said he had a horrible injury mid-season that put him back, and honestly, what it was he got shot twice by his girlfriend, trying to prevent her from trying to kill herself. He was the hero, right? Yeah. Well, I come to find out that old Goose was a little violent at home, and I think that she was the one who was defending herself. And in that little scuffle, he got shot twice. So all the papers are writing that he's a hero, stopped her from killing herself. Meanwhile, I know what happened. I got a source. So I wrote the story. And the story ruined me financially. I got run out of town. Nobody wanted to believe it. He was hitting too many home runs. I hate that man. I hate him, and I want to bring him down.
This is dark. This got real.
That got real.
Man.
Joe.
Yeah, I'm reading.
It's a lot darker than what I was going to go with.
No, it's just like.
I'm reading baseball history.
Me too.
And,
That's how it would have gone down.
That's
Pretty accurate
Wow,
for the
what a
Giants.
exactly.
hero.
I'm actually reading baseball history. I'm like
Dang.
Googling 1931, and this dude, not Goose Goslin, some other guy,
Joe DiMaggio.
saved his girlfriend's life, who tried to kill herself and got
Oh
shot
my
twice.
God.
And and I'm just reading it, and I'm like,
Nope.
I don't know. So I just kind of turned it on its head.
Yeah.
Isn't this the plot of The Natural? Or no?
Is it? I don't know. I don't remember. I haven't seen
Didn't
The
he kill
Natural
a guy? I
very
can't
long.
remember. Isn't that his whole thing? He was in baseball, but then he killed a guy, and now he's back in the game.
I haven't seen it in so long.
Joe, you've gone super dark. Meanwhile, Nora's going to be like, Rita Hayworth stole my sarsaparilla.
I figured it out. Ready? It's a very little known fact that Rita Hayworth got her big break in a newspaper. It was an advertisement, and it was for certain it was for baby formula, and we were both cute little babies born around the same time, and we were at this audition, and so we were both in a playpen together. We were about to go in for our little audition, and Rita Hayworth, that dumb bimbo. She threw up all over me. She spit up all over me. I couldn't go on. She went on to the audition and make the part, and I could have been the superstar. I could have been. It should have been My Name in Lights.
You would have been a much better Rita Hayworth than Rita Hayworth.
I could have been the Gerber baby.
She owes me.
So good.
It's a
Love
real
that.
childhood vendetta.
That is, yes.
Damn. Yeah. These vendettas are real.
Yep.
Amazing. All right, they're already coming to life. Jumping off the page, let's combine the next two, and then the last one is traits. But we'll combine the next two. Give me a roll for meaningful locations and treasured possessions. I want to get through these and really jump into the scenario here before we call it a night, because I want to start. I'm chomping at the bit now, hearing these characters come to life. Meaningful locations, treasured possessions, and treasured possessions is important. As I joked to you in the email, your treasured possession could not be a bazooka with unlimited ammo.
Darn.
So what did everybody roll? Nora, what about meaningful location and treasured possession?
All right, I rolled a 4 for meaningful location, a place of quiet contemplation.
Ooh.
Library, country walks on your estate, or fishing. Listen, I don't know how much. Penelope fishes, but okay.
Maybe it's her time by the lake where she really gets to just take
Plot
a break
her
from all.
revenge.
Plot revenge
I
against
just
Rita
need a
Hayworth.
quiet place where I could sit and think and plot my revenge like a normal person.
You could also just pick one. Maybe number 5, a place for socializing, a local bar. Maybe that's you're more akin to where you were thinking about this character.
Yeah.
You have that option.
No, I do like that. That kind of fits a little more.
Okay, what about treasured possession?
Do I roll for that as well?
Yeah, sure. See what happens.
Ba-da-dum.
I feel like this is a great one to roll for, unless you had a very strong idea.
Okay. So I rolled a 5. It says something given to you by your significant person. Can we just say
That vomit.
that
you
I
kept it.
kept the onesie with her vomit on it because I'm going to rub it back in her face?
It's like that episode of Seinfeld where George keeps the sweatshirt that the woman spilled wine on.
Yes.
Anyways, a couple people out there really enjoyed that. Skin,
was a-
he's
Guy in the back.
Sign heads in the house.
All right,
Becca,
so onesie. That's
love
something I never thought I would write
you
on
have
a
the
Call of
vomit-stained
Cthulhu.
onesie.
Yeah, make sure you keep the
treasured
vomit stain. You can't forget about
Yep.
that. Okay. I have rolled meaningful
onesie.
Yes, meaningful location. Becca.
I rolled workplace, which I've already established it was Benny's gym. Benny got shut down. He said he doesn't want to be my manager anymore. Benny, you're still my manager even if you don't have a gym. We'll find one. Anyway, I'm breaking in. The cops come, they say, this is foreclosed property. And I say, I got a train and they say, "Lady, please leave."
I like that. Maybe it's boarded up and you just sneak in there and you're still hitting the heavy bag and find the cops. You got to get out of here. This is public property or private property.
Exactly.
I like it.
And then for treasured possessions, really too on the nose. It was a sporting item. So I think my boxing gloves are all I have, and they are precious. Actually, I think that, they were a gift from Benny. And then I also wanted a collection. I have a collection of spoons, silver spoons. It was my Mima's collection.
I play the spoons.
Because really nice. I just thought the sporting equipment was like too on the nose that I wanted another possession. It's spoons.
I like it. Yeah, I like
From
it. Spoons.
Mima's spoons.
It's better than Beanie Babies.
Oh God. Yeah. Anything's better than Beanie Babies.
Matthew, give me a meaningful location and a treasured possession.
I rolled a 6, so a place connected with your ideology or belief. So I'm going to say
Stage.
The stage. Oh yeah, it was great. Yeah, the stage. What's that big the theater that in Boston that Emerson College was going to try to demolish?
Not the Wang. The one right next to or across the street from the Wang.
Yeah, I'll look it up. But it had all of those famous.
I don't know if it was around in the 30s, but the Wang is the big one, and then there's another one right across the street. Not Huntington.
The Colonial.
The Colonial. Yes, I saw
Okay.
Les Mis there when I was a child.
I'll say it's the Colonial Theater.
Okay.
And then for treasure possession, I rolled a 1, which is an item connected to your highest skill. My highest skill is dancing. So 2 options.
Your leotard.
One is a set of tap shoes, which I don't think will be that helpful for the adventure. So
that's my
Definitely not
job.
on stealth checks.
Take that, Cthulhu.
option 2,
Cthulhu.
I can shuffle off to Cthulhu. But option 2, and go with me here for a second, is a .38 revolver. It was given to us by Buzz, our stage manager. When the tour shut down, Buzz was like, "You kids,
You're gonna need this.
you're gonna need this out there."
You're gonna need this.
And he gave me an Albertine, his .38, because he was going back to New York, but he didn't know what was gonna
Yeah,
happen.
and
to
then
us.
he made you shoot him first, and then you could
Yes.
have his gun.
Exactly.
I like this. And I joked about this in an email to y'all. I'm going to roll a d6 to see how many bullets Buzz gave you.
Okay.
1. You have 1 bullet.
So maybe
Buzz handed it to you. He opened the chamber and there was 1 bullet there. He goes, "You're gonna need this, kid."
He's like, "You're gonna have 2 mouths to feed. It's pretty tough, and eventually you're gonna come to a crossroads, and one of you might have to make a tough decision." Hands it up.
You might have to eat your partner. Joe, meaningful location and treasured possession.
Meaningful location. I rolled I forget what it was now because it was a minute ago. I rolled 9, and it was the place you were happiest in your life. And so I just picked Fenway Park because I
Okay.
figured this is when he was at the height of his career, and he was in the locker rooms, and he was beeping and bopping with the players, and so it was
Basically
Fenway Park.
created me as an investigator.
Yeah. And then treasured possession, I rolled another 10, and that is a pet.
Oh, you really have created me. Is it a cat?
I rolled a pet, and so I figured when he got down on his luck and had to kind of get out of town and ends up broke in this shanty town, I think it's here that he finds a dog, a black lab, that is all beat up and on death's door that he kind of nurses back to health, and it's kind of his companion right now. And he named him Dizzy after the great Cardinals pitcher Dizzy Dean, and
okay.
names him Dizzy because he's only got one eye and he's not very coordinated. Yeah,
He falls
but he
over
loves
a
him.
lot.
He loves him to death. It's his prized possession.
I'm
You
seeing
have
all
a
these
gift for
characters.
names, Joe.
What's that?
You have a gift for names.
Oh, thank you. I just
Goose Goslin is my favorite.
yeah, I mean, it's a real dude. Like I was just Googling old ball players because to me that is the funniest part of this era is the names.
Yeah.
And particularly the nicknames in baseball are so funny. Like if
Oh,
you
Black
watch-
Shoes Johnson.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, Lefty Gomez comes to the plate. Like, and if you watch like the Ken Burns documentary. The way that they,
McGillicuddy.
Yes.
yeah, exactly. The way that they, methodically say these names that are just so hilarious. It's like, oh, Jolly Charlie Grimm. It's amazing.
Pine Tar Alabaster
Baptist
comes to the plate.
Chipley.
Yeah, first of the plate, Chip Chipley. I'm gonna write down Chip Chipley.
Like the super white version of Key and Peele's football players sketch.
Nora, you are on fire tonight.
Aw, thank you.
Chipley.
If only I got the era correct or the location. My hair is gonna be so different next episode. I'm just saying.
Coming with a big piece of straw coming out of
Give
your
her a
mouth.
horse.
All right, I want to get through this quick because I want to jump in. Just give me traits and feel free to pick them. Like number 6 is good cook. I mean,
Hedonist.
obviously. You're going with hedonist, Nora.
Oh, yes.
Becca, do you want to go with good cook or was something
You
else
know I'm
jump out
going
at you?
with good cook. I'm also just loyal, protective, quick to act, slow to think.
I love it.
I
Joe?
rolled rocks. I rolled, honest to God, a 2. Good with animals.
Perfect.
So
Oh my God.
that just fit perfectly.
It's meant to be.
I love it. Good with animals, bad with people is what I'm assuming. Matthew,
I took loyal. He feels deep sense of loyalty to Albertine and would do anything for her.
would do anything to Albertine. You're the only one that has a significant person that is in the camp, right?
Yeah.
So sorry for you.
Oh.
All right, let's talk
Albertine's
about
a beautiful dancer.
gender. What are the genders of the investigators?
Male for
Okay.
me, and I'm going to name him Preston Tippett.
Yes.
Oh,
Gender and
great
name.
name.
Preston
Preston
Tippett.
Tippett.
That's a great name, Joe.
Great name.
Thank you.
Who says you're stupid?
I'll fight them. I'll fight them all. All those many, many people.
And Shirley.
Shirley Cisco identifies as female. Thank you for asking.
Okay. Shirley Cisco identifies as female. And Nora.
Penelope Peachy Keen will be she, her.
Okay. Penelope Peachy Keen, she, her. I'm assuming Cisco is a distant relative of the rapper Cisco.
You don't want to see Shirley in a thong.
My mind went to
It's
say
the
that she
food
was an
company,
ancestor.
Cisco.
I described her as a big woman with mousy blonde short hair, refrigerator-shaped body. Think Rosie the Robot, but Scandinavian.
But does she like the way your booty goes? That's the question.
I mean, yeah, punch that booty right off your face.
Why I oughta. Matthew, name and gender.
Leo Victoria is he, him.
Leo.
Victoria. Oh,
That's the right name.
great.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
right.
This is amazing. Okay.
Leo Victoria.
It sounds like the
on
name
tour
of a musical.
With no. Oh, it's perfect.
Is that a stage name? We'll find out by the end of the
Well,
adventure.
we'll have to keep watching to find out.
The other thing is your birthplace. I don't care. I just want to play. So, Joe, I want
Lawrence
you.
Mass.
I'm ready now. We've got Preston Tippett, Shirley Cisco, Penelope Peachy Keen, and Leo Victoria. O'Brien, we need a key change here because we're going to jump into the imagination sphere and play some Call of Cthulhu. I warned you at the beginning of this that this adventure we are going to play is bleak. It is dark, and I think it is, to me, the embodiment of what it is to play Call of Cthulhu. Now, people that know me also know that I am hard. I like to run difficult situations. I like to put the players in impossible situations and root for them to triumph, even if triumph is impossible. That's what this scenario is going to be. So, the stage is set. We know who the characters are. We're going to figure out a little bit more who they are in the weeks to come. But let's set the stage. The year is 1932. The Great Depression is in full swing, and our investigators are all residents of a shanty town I said this. Commonly referred to in the 1930s as Hoovervilles, after President Herbert Hoover, who was in power at the time that the stock market crashed. A lot of things were named the Hoover this or Hoover that. There was a newspaper was a Hoover blanket. A piece of cardboard you put in your shoe was a Hoover leather. A vacuum cleaner was, well, you get the picture. Because of the stock market crash, a lot of people were forced into these towns, these Hoovervilles, these shanty towns, and they were made up of oftentimes no more than scrap wood, metal, cardboard that was like stapled together. Did they have staples in the 30s? I don't know.
This is why I always have an issue with this.
I know, I'm worried. People
I
like
don't know the technology.
Troy. There were no staples until 1942.
Everybody knows that.
These are magic staples. It's a fantasy setting. But oftentimes these were built on landfills, waste zones, or sometimes they'd be built on public land. It was illegal, but it was tolerated as a necessity of the times. These were desperate times, and they called for desperate situations. I Googled earlier today Hoovervilles, and I found a bunch of great images that I want to share, but I don't want to copyright infringe. So just Google Hooverville, and a bunch of stuff will come up from Getty Images. I think it's a great visual aid to kind of see what this looked like. A lot of these pictures will show a big city in the distance. That's different from our setting. So the lights are going to fade up on our Hooverville, followed by a lower third that just says Crawley, Massachusetts. It's dawn on a chilly November morning. The frost has come particularly early this year, and the ground is hard and hoary. We see a variety of small structures. There's tents, lean-tos for the most part, closely knit, far apart from each other. It's early. People are beginning to stir, and some are gathered around a communal campfire. There might be other little campfires, but there's a main one, and the early risers are making what passes for coffee in the camp. It's a mixture of used grounds that are thrown out by the Blue Star Bar and Restaurant, maybe a bar that old Peachy Keen spent some time at before they had to let her go. The proprietor there will send used coffee grounds that the people who live in this Hooverville will mix with like roots that they dig from the ground in the area to make their morning coffee. As we get closer and see these people, you can tell that they appear for the most part lethargic and just wasting away. As we close in, we can see that some of them, their skin is even flaking off in places. In these types of communities, food is obviously scarce. But to make matters worse, in this particular camp, there is a wasting disease that is infecting everyone. This is why your power score is low. This is why your luck has run out. This has been going on for a couple of years. No one can quite figure out how this got into camp. No one outside the camp can or will help. And it stopped most of the residents from even trying to pursue casual work to make ends meet. The four of you, the four investigators that we've created and are about to really meet, and the few children that are around the camp are probably the healthiest of the bunch, and together you're kind of doing your best to keep this shit show together. You're having to look after most of the people, especially those for which the wasting disease has become unbearable. There are 47 people living in this Hooverville, men, women, and children, and you've built a community of sorts. Not everyone gets along, but even though some people pull their weight more than others, you all look out for each other. Where are our investigators right now? Matthew, what is your partner's name?
Albertine.
Albertine. Albertine what?
Albertine Ricks.
Albertine Ricks. Albertine is in bad shape. She, more than anyone, has been devastated by this disease. And while you came here certainly not optimistic about your situation, at least you had each other. And so maybe there's that theater kid optimism. You were like, we're going to make it through this, just like we did when we were on stage and no. But then she got sick. And you're sick as well, but she's gone deeper into this sickness, and now she is in the medical shack. And the doctor of the camp, Dr. Coombs, says it's best if you just kind of stay apart. He doesn't know if this disease spreads, how it spreads, where she's in an advanced stage of this. He just thinks it's best to look over her. So, are you awake? Do you wake up? Walk outside? What do you do? What do you look like?
Leo is exceptionally tall. He's 6'7", bit of a beanpole, but he's sturdy. Grant, on our call, just made a face. Is that because I was referencing tall people, Grant?
Yes, you rang. Lurch here. Hello.
He's 6'6", 6'7". He's really tall. He was that one tall guy in the chorus that was really useful for the lifts. And his hair is normally, brilliantined back against his head, but now is in a bit of disarray, and he hasn't shaven for the past couple days. I think he probably hasn't really been sleeping that well. He's just kind of been, up all night pacing as close as he can get to the medical tent, just waiting for news about Albertine and trying to figure out what he can do to help her. But of course, he can't do anything to help her because they're in a terrible situation.
Yeah, so you didn't get a lot of sleep last night, and maybe you finally decide, all right, I'm going to get up and just go check on Albertine. Becca, is Shirley just waking up? Is Shirley early to rise? She's still going out for that morning jog to stay fit?
Yeah, she's got a routine, and even though times are, dismal, you could say, her routine is all that keeps her grounded to reality. So yeah, she's up with the crack of dawn, and she's going through the paces, and she's lifting up crates of empty cans by the dumpsters. Those are her weightlifting. That's her weightlifting routine. And she tries to help out with the group breakfast. They have that's kind of her job, even though they only make a few pennies. If people don't have a penny to pay for their morning meal, then that's fine too. She tries to help feed people after the run.
Okay. So you're getting up, getting settled, starting your routine. You see people gathering. Maybe you'll eventually make your way to the campfire. It's kind of what everybody does once they're finished their morning ablutions or whatever it is they do to feel normal in this very abnormal situation. Do any of you have children? Any of you married beyond, obviously, Shirley has an ex-husband?
Soon to be remarried, I think.
Fingers crossed. Nora, no children, no marriage. Joe, what about Preston?
I had originally imagined something like that, but the roles didn't go that way, and I'm just going to go without it. Maybe I'll fill something in later, but for right now, his companion is his dog.
Okay.
Your fur baby, as they say.
Yes, they do say that.
Say?
What did you say? Penelope,
Yeah.
are you up at the crack of dawn, or are you sleeping in?
I would say she's probably hungover from all the bathtub hooch. But, if people are stirring around a lot, she might wake up. She's a very petite lady, maybe 5'2", 5'3", and she's very desperately trying to hang on to, trying to keep her appearances, trying to pretend like, nothing's, like she's not destitute, but she's not doing a very good job at it. So she's wearing once fancy clothes, maybe a very long time ago. But, not doing so well.
Not doing so hot. Preston? What does Preston look like? Is Preston an early riser, late riser? You going out to the campfire? You waking up and journaling? What does your morning look like?
Yeah, he's up early. I imagine him in line at Shirley's soup kitchen. He probably knows Shirley. Walks up there, and he just has a stoop to his demeanor, a beaten man. And he's only 37, but he's been penniless for a while now. He wears a suit that is there's mud on the cuffs, and his hair is just greasy and gross, and it's under a little cap, a fedora of some kind that is all ratty and beaten up. And I was looking at the optional descriptions at the beginning, and one jumped out at me. It was plump. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. Like, he's just so average. I was just like, oh, I could describe him as plump. And now I'm like, he was plump in like his Fenway days, And now he's like rail thin, and his suit is obviously too large for him. And he just steps up, nods to Shirley, gets some soup, and then gives more than half of it to Dizzy. So because the dog needs the food. And then he just kind of like scraps up what's left, like they share out of the same bowl.
As you exit your tent, Penelope, a woman in the camp, comes up to you. Her name is Maureen. She's like, have you seen Esther at all? Esther is her daughter, a young girl, 13, 14 years old. Everybody knows each other. She's like, I'm sorry, have you, it's not like her to not be around. Have you seen her at all?
Well, not this morning. When was the last time you saw her?
We all went to bed in the tent together. I'm sure it's nothing. It's not like her to not be around. If you see her, will you just let me know?
Well, yeah, maybe she'll turn up. I'll keep an eye out for you.
Yeah, no, I'm sure she will. Thank you. And she goes, John, have you seen Esther? She kind of goes off into the distance. Meanwhile, where Shirley and Preston are chatting.
Sky's real gray, huh?
Yeah. How was the run this morning?
Slower than yesterday. That was slower than the day before. Just so hungry.
Yeah. We're gonna get back, though. We're gonna get through it.
We're gonna bounce back.
Yeah.
I'm confident.
I'm gonna be writing about your first big fight. I'm gonna be writing about it. I'm telling you.
Oh, they're gonna get knocked out in the first round. And Dizzy's
wait.
looking good, by the way. Dizzy's looking real strong.
Isn't he? He is. He's trying hard. He's a fighter. And he just like ruffles his head. And turns back to you. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna be able to say I knew Shirley Cisco when. I'm gonna be able to say
shucks. Preston.
Gives you a smile.
Oh, you're gonna. Well, and your article is gonna be on the front page. I mean, first woman boxer to take the heavyweight title. It's gonna be something.
I'm already taking notes. I'm writing down your routines. I'm writing down how much you work, and I'm not gonna forget a detail. I promise you. I write everything down. I don't forget anything.
Any information I will give you. I mean, I know we already did 3 interviews, but if you want another interview, I'm around.
Yeah, between you and me, there's just no one of interest in this camp. So sorry. I got to stay sharp, and so you're the one I keep interviewing. I apologize.
Oh, well, you should talk to Maureen about how, she used to make clothes.
All right. Thanks, Shirley. I'll talk to you soon.
See you later,
He just kinda-
Preston.
Stumbles away.
You guys are chatting it up near the end of the soup line, and you hear a guy sitting over near the campfire, and he's like, I tell you, they're doctors. They're doctors from the hospital, and then they come here in the night, and then they do experiments on us. That's what they do. Why else wouldn't they treat us when we show up at Bentham? Because they're the ones that make us sick. And an older woman's like, no, it's the ghosts. It's the ghosts of our friends and our family who weren't strong enough to make it to this here Hooverville with us. Yeah, Now they come back in the night because they're seeking shelter from beyond the grave. And the man's like, ghosts, it's doctors. You all overhear this by now. Penelope, you're probably within earshot of this as well.
And I'll just be like, lay off the booze, Harvey!
Hey, lady.
5 a.m. somewhere.
A ghost wouldn't try and kill us. Just saying, ghosts are probably friendly. Doesn't
Yeah.
account for disappearances.
Ghosts. Do you hear any of this? I'm telling you. I think it's just things, the situations making everybody go crazy these days. Oh, by the way, have you seen Maureen's daughter?
Esther?
Esther?
Yeah.
No, not me.
She's looking for her this morning.
Well, we should help her look.
Did
Yeah.
you say Esther was missing?
Yeah, she said they went to bed last night and this morning she wasn't there.
Morning, Leo.
Morning.
How is it you always look so fresh, Leo?
Oh, go
How do you
on,
do
Shirley.
that?
Leo, could you stand here? You can block the sun, so it's not bothering my eyes so
Yeah,
much.
never heard that one before. Meanwhile, he's wearing the tuxedo that was his costume in No No Net before it is kind of left. So it's 4 years old and it's completely threadbare.
Stolen.
Still got the bow
So we
tie.
look like we went for a night out a
Yeah.
decade ago.
Yeah. This is a really, really embarrassing morning after. Like a very long morning after.
I'm wearing gym shorts, a coat, and an apron.
Guy
me some
turns to
boots.
look at Leo and it's like, how do you look so good? Didn't that screaming wake you up last night? How did you even sleep with all that yelling?
Screaming. Did I hear screaming last night?
You wonder. As he says that, all of you are like, you know what, now that I think about it, did I hear screaming? Or was that just a dream? I didn't wake up thinking about hearing screaming, but now that somebody said that, it makes you question, yeah, maybe I did hear some screaming. Maybe I didn't. And as you're questioning, somebody else is like, yeah, the faceless men returned last night. And when someone says the faceless men, there's a woman sitting just outside of the circle and she just starts sobbing. She's like, rocking back and forth. She has blonde hair. You'd think like back in the day she was probably quite beautiful, but now her cheeks are all hollow and sunken. She's got huge bags under her eyes. Her name's Nancy Carver. You all know her. She used to work for a lawyer in town. She was like a clerk. When the firm went bankrupt, she lost her job as well. Totally normal woman, sobbing.
Nancy! Hey now, that's all right. Hey, things are gonna turn around for everybody.
She's ghostly pale, and she's just like, no, I saw them. I saw them come, and their faces were all white. And one of them opened a box and took out a puppet. And then he made the puppet sing. Starts sobbing uncontrollably. She's like, the puppet, it sang. It was the most terrible thing I've ever heard. No, don't make me think about that song. I can hear it again. And she just starts losing it. And you know this woman. You know times are tough here in this Hooverville, but she has lost her mind. I know some of you took some points in psychology. Mm-hmm. Somebody give me a hard psychology roll to try and calm her down because she is on the brink of just losing it. And it's early.
Can I spin one luck? Oh, no, never mind. Hard, I got it.
You got it, yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, you're welcome to spend the luck. You only got 20 points.
No, sorry, I was going for extreme.
Hard
Did
is
anybody
the-
else hit it?
I hit
Hard
it.
is
I failed.
below half.
I hit it exactly.
Oh, wow. So the two of you. So explain to me what the two of you do together to try and calm her down.
Leo, like,
We sing that song. Oh, yeah, you dance. I'm going to sing. Hey, little Nancy girl, don't be sad. There's your friends all around you, and we got a fire.
And we got fire.
That's all we have. Oh, yeah. It's a nice
amazing.
fire. Just look at the fire, Nancy.
saw.
This is every
Since
day in
I
my
failed,
home.
I just do jazz hands. I just don't know what to do in this situation.
Yeah, that's what I succeeded on. A hard success, that's the song you get. So you don't want to hear the fail song.
I'm gonna say Preston failed, and he's convinced she just dreamed it. It's just a nightmare.
But this is enough between Shirley and. Gotta look at my notes here. What's your character's name,
Leo.
Matthew?
Leo.
Leo.
Shirley and Leo.
Leo
that
Victoria.
That little song and dance number was enough, and she just kind of it's enough to distract her from her own madness, and she looks at you and calms down, and she's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Was I the only one? Was I the only one that saw them? Am I losing my mind?
No, Nancy. There's something going on here. Okay, this doesn't feel right to any of us. Just tell us every detail about what you saw. A puppet man.
I was sitting by the campfire right here with little Billy Spitzer, the orphan boy. We neither of us could sleep. I think other people were around. I can't remember. I've blacked it all out. But
Do you have an idea of what time of night it was?
1 a.m. Mostly everyone was asleep, but I know I saw other people, and I know I saw them, and they were moving towards the campfire. And one of them, I swear to you, they opened a box. I mean, Billy must have seen them as well. I can't be crazy. Find Billy. They opened a box, and this ventriloquist dummy just began to sing. Please don't make me think about it.
Sorry, no one's calling you crazy, hun. It's all right. Just
What'd you call me?
No. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying we're not calling you that.
Okay.
Peachy, don't say the C word.
I know. I just couldn't help. I was trying to not to.
Now,
How many-
Nancy, I don't want to make you think about it too much, but if you could tell me any of the words of the song, maybe
Leo, are you?
recall what it is.
Yeah. Might be a Sondheim. Wait, what?
He wasn't alive yet.
Way before Sondheim, right?
A what?
His father,
Gershwin?
Derek
Might be
Sondheim.
Sondheim's grandfather.
Your turn.
Don't know. At the very least, Gilbert and Sullivan. That was around.
There were no words. It was a screeching sound, and everything went black. Roll a charm or persuade, Leo.
Let's see.
Regular difficulty, just roll under it. If you can.
I do. I roll a 2, like a flat 2 under 55.
Oh, wow. Wow, okay. Almost a crit. It wasn't a song. It wasn't a song. And they weren't faceless. Yes, no, now I remember. They were wearing white scarves wrapped around their heads. And the scarves were held down by hats. The puppet, though, I'm sure it was a puppet. It sat in the crook of one of the men's arms, like a ventriloquist dummy. And he made it sing. But the voice that came out of it, no man could make. That's the last thing I can remember. Everything else is darkness. Please don't make me think about that thing anymore. Please.
Did
Please.
they see you see them?
Please don't ask me any more questions. Where's Billy? Talk to him. Talk to Billy.
We gotta find Billy.
All right. We'll go find Billy.
I can go look for Billy.
All right, so you guys go over look for Billy. As you do, the doctor comes out of the tent and kind of puts a finger up to you, Leo.
Excuse me, just a moment. I don't know why he got British right there, but excuse me, just a moment.
Excuse me. Just a minute.
He's working out an accent for
It's for a character.
a character.
Yes, doctor. What's happened?
My Fair Lady auditions next week. He's Dr. Coombs. He's a little disheveled. He's a mess. It's not like he's wearing a white coat. He's dirty like everybody else. But the medical shack is probably the biggest building in the camp, and he's just like, come inside, but she's not well.
Oh dear. Oh, of course, yes. He follows him inside.
You come inside, and it's a pretty solid building as far as most of the buildings go, but there's still wind coming in through holes. There's cardboard boxes just like stapled together, as we said. He uses paraffin cubes to like heat it up, but really can only afford to burn the fuel on cold days like today. So it is a little warm in there. There's 2 beds in the shack, one of which is empty, and the other one occupied by Albertine. He says to you, I don't know what to do. We're all sick. And I've been studying this disease as best I can. I feel like I understand the progression of the disease. And now seeing Albertine, I think I know what the end stages look like. But I don't know what's happening. And I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but I don't think she's long for this world. I've done everything I can.
Can I see her? Can I talk to her?
He looks over his shoulder. Yes, but please understand, last night was particularly bad for her, and she doesn't look well. And he stands aside, and you start to walk towards her. Meanwhile, the rest of you are looking for Billy Spitzer, and you're looking and you're asking around. People are like, I haven't seen Billy anywhere. And Maureen comes in. It's like, Esther's missing too. I've asked everyone in camp. Where is she? I don't understand. It's one thing for her to get up and play, but I've talked to anyone. Esther! Billy!
Are there any children around at all?
There are some children. Some other children are starting to wake and come out of the tents. And you feel like Maureen's gone to as many of these people as possible, and now they're just yelling, Esther! Billy! And we cut back to the medical tent. And you see Albertine laying there. Her breathing is labored and has a deathly rattling sound to it. She's staring straight up. And there's this frozen look of panic on her face. Give me a spot hidden roll.
All right. If you insist. 10. Under 40.
As you lean in closer to her, you notice that there's a thin layer of dust on her eyeball. Both of her eyeballs. Like whatever is happening to her, her eyes have been open long enough for dust to settle on them. And she's just like, Leo! Help me. Please. And we'll see you next week.
Just kill her already. Oh, God.
Out of the eyeballs?
I saw dust on your eyeballs. You kept them open so long.
The old dust on the eyeballs trick.
Well, they all dust on the
Every
eyeballs.
time.
I've seen it once, I've seen it a million times.
Raspberries.
Listen, puppets creep me out too, so I don't.
Well, now Troy creeps me out. Damn, Troy, you can set a tone, can't ya?
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Thank you,
See you soon.
Nora.
Oh, thank you.